Technical issues, folks. Hopefully we're coming in loud and clear here. Sneaky Chiefy casting with Eco Warfare. And we were just talking about Malians as a civ. We saw Mongols a lot in the semifinals and the group stage. I didn't see much Malians at all, and I don't play with them a lot, but what did you see in their tech tree that was interesting here, Eco?
It's really just for the wood cost of buildings and also the pierce armor to infantry. So versus Mongols, if the game goes late,
Hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that Bunyu's expecting a lot of Mangadai. So he's hoping to be able to infantry spam that away with the extra pierce armor they get per age.
Mm-hmm. But he
And
doesn't
also
know
the
what.
wood cost as well is
Yeah,
huge.
it would cost, so that'll save you maybe a few more fishing ships early on, and you can expand easier. But I should say, like, they
Oh,
don't know
yep.
what the civs are, so do you think he's feeling lucky that he picked Mongols against Malians or vice versa at this point?
Well, there's a lot of ways to look at it. I would definitely say that Malians have some advantages over Mongols, and then I would also say that there's some parts of Mongols that really make it just overall, especially on this map, just a very strong civ,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult to counter.
Yep. I mean, the
As far as
bonus
the
hunt,
late
right,
game goes,
is obvious.
I do think the Mongols have an advantage in the late game.
Yeah. On paper, I wouldn't think the Mongols were good on this map because it's a little closed, but it's been this probably the most chosen civ on Scandinavia so far in the tournament.
Yeah, it's just the hunting bonus is just so huge. I mean, when you start with I don't know, it looks like 8 deer over there and 3 boars. I mean, you can do some crazy builds. You know, a 16 pop feudal age,
Hmm.
just and still able to produce scouts just due to the sheer rate of collection of food. It's there's a lot of room for some very interesting strategies with Mongols on this map.
Yeah. And we saw a lot of Japanese as well in the group stages, obviously for better fishing ships. But for those who aren't aware, oh, they got a scout. Red scout just went down, by the way. Good job on you.
Yep, looks like he caught that with the TC there.
the I was gonna say, Scandinavia will only be played once in these semifinals and finals. So if Japanese do appear, they will be later, or maybe even in the Feudal Cup, but not today. Not between Bunio and Mr. Monty.
Yeah, so actually, losing the scout there, that's actually really huge. As far as just scouting information early on, just to see, what he's up to early on, and that'll impact a lot of, wouldn't be able to see a scout rush coming, or wouldn't be able to see a men-at-arms tower rush, or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So Monty's going to be flying blind here.
I took a look at Monty's viewpoint with Vagavor to see how much he'd scouted before he lost his scout. Not too much. He did get a good chunk of his side of the map, but he doesn't see too much on the other side at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to scout Banu's main gold, so that actually that's huge. But he cannot even see like he couldn't see if he was on fish yet. He couldn't see if there was an early barracks going up. So he's definitely gonna have to just play on his instinct here for a little bit until he can get some more information.
Yeah. And what do you think? You mentioned main gold. What do you think of these two's map location, spawn points, and whatnot?
So looking at both of them, they both have decent maps. The way that Monty has walled off his base has kind of negated the fact that that gold was pretty exposed there.
Mm-hmm.
He actually was able to wall it to where he got his secondary gold protected as well. So, and then he has a tertiary gold in the back that's very safe. Also his 2 stone piles, his main stone and his secondary stone, are both very safe. So, not a bad map for Monty. Easy wallable map for him as well. I'm sure you can see these little kind of like 2 tile gaps he has, very easy to wall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he won't be wasting a lot of idle time with villas and a lot of wood in terms of doing that. His map also very good. He has his deer in the back, which he hasn't actually used yet. So we'll see if he has a plan for that. He's on fish right now. He's got 3 fishing ships to Monty's 0. So Monty's definitely opting to use that Mongols gathering bonus instead of the fish in the back there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. And let's see. Looking at Bunny's, he's got number 1 and number 2 gold are up front, but he does have a 3rd gold in the back to use your SAT word tertiary. Well played, sir. So he will have some gold options if he does lose out on those front golds. And I should say we forgot a key bonus for Malians, or Civ bonus is unlimited fishing traps, correct? So we could see that come into play in the late game.
Oh, that's Malay.
Oh, that's Malay. Excuse me.
totally a great bonus. Would be a great bonus if Malians could get it as well with the combined with their reduced wood cost. That would be just unstoppable. But yeah, that's the melee bonus.
If you didn't know, Sneaky Chiefy does not play as infantry civs, so there, now you know.
Yeah. So it looks like we have. I really like what Monty's doing here. Over to the right side of the map. Let me make sure that I'm on the same. Yeah. So on the right side, you can see he's actually trying to wall off that entire side. Yeah, right there. I don't know if he has that scouted. Maybe if you could check on Fog of War to see if he has that hole scouted on the right.
Sure. He has not. He's not seen that yet, but assuming he spent all this time with that villager, he'll go out and make sure that that tree line does not extend, or does extend.
Yeah. Yep. Knowing Monty, I would not be surprised. He'll definitely scout that. But it looks like Banu is using his secondary gold in the front here as part of his wall.
Yep.
And he is actually almost fully walled. Let me look at his perspective to see.
That's an unfortunate gold placement, though. And when you have to use your gold as part of your wall, you're never in a happy position. And I will say we lost a scout. Bunio lost his scout finally to the Mongols, but we are up to feudal age, so we'll see some more scouts coming out.
Yep, we already got a stable and archery range, 2 ranges actually from Monty up right now, and it looks like he's going to do some kind of aggression with a mixture of scouts and archers, which is actually great to counter the spearmen that Banu has already reacted with, so that's going to be very interesting.
And we already have, like you said, 3 scouts out from Mr. Monty. He's not pushed forward with them yet, but he did snipe a Vil that might have been looking to wall off on the left side.
Yep, very much what we expected from Monty. Very aggressive player. Looks like he's getting that spearman down as well. So if he's able to put some pressure on some of these palisades with maybe 2 or 3 archers in the back of those scouts, it's going to be very difficult to counter, and maybe even would force a tower out of Banu, depending on how it goes.
This is such a key strategy. Again, I know a lot of people that are watching today probably know a lot about the game, but if you happen to not know a lot about the game, even 2 archers along with your scout rush is so crucial to stop villagers from building a house, for example, like what we're seeing Bunio do react, defensive-wise. You want some sort of ranged unit to stop that building from happening.
Oh, it looks like we have another Vil from Banu coming out of the side. I don't know if he did that intentionally or maybe that's an accidental Vil going over there.
Yeah.
Yep, the scout found it too.
I doubt that villager's got a purpose walking towards the front lines
he found a
like
hole.
So yeah, maybe not a total loss, but it's an interesting hole there.
He found a hole, but other than that, that was a short life for that Vil. So yeah, it looks like Monty's still putting pressure on these palisades. His archer numbers are going up to 4 now. Just looking at Banu's reaction, he's trying to house wall that real quick, but it looks like the scouts and archers are in now, and he's going to take another Vil loss there.
Yep.
2 more.
2 Vils down, yeah, and then you mentioned this combo. He's microing really well between these archers and scouts.
Yep, Banu has the reaction of spears and skirms, counter to each, but really Monty's starting to get a critical mass right now to where those spears are pretty much useless.
And props to Monty for this micro. Spears are dangerous, skirms are dangerous to their proper units, but if you're able to move your armies around and attack the right units appropriately, you can counter those no problem.
Yeah, it looks like Banu's on the deer in the back as well, and if those scouts and archers get to that wood line with the deer, that's going to be a disaster. But a lot of this this aggression is how Monty likes to play. He likes to make, he forces a lot of early idle time, and that's going to really slow Banu down. One thing I will say is that it's not all hope is lost for Banu because he does have those fishing ships in the back. So I think that does actually keep him at least somewhat close in the game, even though he's losing all these units. But it does not look good for Banu right now.
Yeah, I'm jumping over to kills. Looks like Monty's got 15, and they're not all Vils, but a big chunk of his eco is being damaged.
Yeah, and you just have to think about all this idle time. I mean, even 3 scouts and 4 archers, the cost of that has already been just completely offset by how much idle time he's forced.
And props to Banu, like he's using his Vils to take out these scouts. It's a good play because then it allows the skirmishers to clean up the archers. And he has not closed that wall though. So that's going to be tricky for him as more units.
Looks like he's got 6 going on to gold as well over there to the right. So he's finally using that main gold, but if Monty scouts that, he's going to be able to to slow that down with archers because that's only 2 tiles away.
So check it out. 2 scouts from Bunny have snuck in.
Oh.
I'm not sure where they came in from. Maybe that hole that.
Oh, he's killing the
villager found?
farms too. That's actually huge. So he's losing a lot of resources right there. He actually deleted a couple of them in time, but I think Banu sniped a couple farms there.
Mhm. Now, good job, Banu, because like it's so easy to freak out when you get rushed and just think defensive, defensive, defensive. But honestly, the right play is to try to sneak in a rush of your own into the enemy's base.
Yep. Exactly, and just the small cost of these 2 scouts, he's already gotten all the value out of those, so that's actually a really good reaction from him. Instead of just, I know I'm guilty of it, just playing defense all the time.
Yep.
He's actually opted to go on offense there. Looks like Banu almost cleaned up both scouts though, or Monty almost cleaned up both of Banu's scouts.
Yeah, that he must have just took his scouts and clicked towards the enemy base and said, "Go find a hole if it exists," or something. Because there's no way you see that hole between the archery range and the tree. It's amazing.
Yeah, so one thing to point out is that Banu actually has, looks like 9 fishing ships, 10. Well, he has 1 fire patrolling the shore. I really like that. And then he actually has 9 fishing ships. And that is, I think, keeping the game very close. Great micro, though, from Monty here with these archers.
Yeah.
Basically cleaned up everything at home there from Banu. And he's back in the wood line again. Oh, that's huge. All right, so it looks like the scouts, the scouts, if anything, are just creating idle time, and
Yeah.
they even get their worth, even if they die. Looks like looks like Monty forced a tower there.
And it's the right call to build a tower. We use the word forced because it uses a stone, but build a tower and survive or quit the game. I mean, what are your options at that point, right? So,
Oh yeah, no, definitely the proper reaction from Banu. I mean, it's exactly what Monty wanted, but definitely a great reaction. It looks like he's actually Banu's doing some work on those archers there as well. Oh, nice block. He's gonna lose some vills there, but looks like Monty is losing some archers.
yeah, he's using the vills as kind of bait while the skirmishers clean up the archers. Again, it sucks that you're forced to do that, but sometimes it's the right play, just to take out the military.
And I would say that with that fish advantage, I mean that makes it even more of a good move from Banu there actually to get those out of his base and get that advantage. The
Yeah.
only issue I see is that the skirms are actually going to delay his castle age. So most of Monty's units are archers, and that's not taking from his food. So I do think that Monty's going to be able to go up to castle before all else equal.
Yeah, that's what I was
before Banu.
looking at too. I was looking at 2 things. One was the score, because Bunny is certainly technically in the lead, though it's close. So I found that interesting, although it's mostly military, I'd imagine, because he's killed so much archers. And then the other thing is who's going to quit castle first. So if we look at their economy, who's got food ready? Monty's got a food advantage and a gold
Yep,
advantage.
big food advantage from Monty there. So he's banking 530. I think his plan is to try to go to castle here pretty soon. I don't know if he's scouted those fishing in the back. Oh, he's seeing them now with the scout. So now he sees 2 docks in the back. So I think he knows that Banu is pretty heavily invested in fish in the back now.
And that hunt advantage of extra line of sight comes in handy on a map like this where things are tight, a lot of wood lines, so you're able to see past them and get more intel.
Yeah, looks like Monty's making up for the lost scout in the beginning there. He's starting to get some more information on the left side of the map as far as relics and extra piles of minerals there.
Check out Bunyo's other dock, though.
We got a sneak dock here.
Yeah, and before Mr. Monty built his first one, Bunyo had 2 on his own shoreline and 1 on Monty's. So
Yeah, that's actually a really I love the Scandinavia really opens up for some interesting strats as far as some sneaking some docks. I would really like to see Monty try to sneak a dock in the back and clean up those 9 fishing ships from. Actually, I think he might even have more than that now.
yeah, and Monty did scope out that forward dock, so it'll be interesting to see who builds.
Oh, yeah, it's scouted, and he's going to take those 2 vills. That's actually huge. Oh, looks like the scout was super low, and that vill finished it off. So he did manage to keep 1 vill alive there. Another thing to note, it looks like Monty's doing a double wall on that side. So I think that Banu, maybe he knows Monty's not on fish, maybe he doesn't know, but what he can do with that is use his fire ships to break the edge of the wall. So it's actually really hard to wall. If you wall to the edge there, and the other player has a water advantage, it's going to be very hard to keep that walled.
Yep. And now Bunio's making fire galleys on the forward dock, which is the right call. Knock your enemy off the fish first before starting to make your own fishing ships. Though he will need to count on that. He's almost completely fished out his side of the water, so...
Yep, looks like Monty's got his own fire galleys pumping out now. He's got the first one out, and he's got another one in queue there. I think he knows what Banu's up to there. It looks like he's gating on the far right as well.
Yeah, props to Monty. He did close off his wall almost. Yeah, fully walled. All the way to the edge of the map. So pretty aggressive. Making sure that there's plenty of room for his eco to expand when it needs to. Though.
Yep, looks like Monty's up to castle as well, so
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yep. And Bunio is researching it now, but that time between castle is huge. I mean, it's such a massive, like, the things you could do. Knights coming out
Yeah, he
from
can.
the stables.
Yep,
castles
knights,
dropped.
crossbows.
Yeah, crossbows. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see if he tries to capitalize on this tech advantage right now, because there's really nothing that Banu has right now for the knights that have come out of stable. Looks like he's got 3 in base already.
And Bunio technically has the villager advantage, though. I think that's all because of the fishing ships.
Yes. So I don't know if those actually count on the account. I believe that they do, but I don't want
They
to
do.
lead anyone.
What's that?
They do count.
They do count. Yeah, I'd be surprised if he had the villager lead after losing all those humans. If fishing ships didn't count, that'd be really surprising. So.
Yeah, one thing to note here is that Monty has 6 knights, and they are +2, so those are going to be very difficult to take down, especially this early on. And it looks like he's got 3 more coming out. It looks like he has 9 right now, so 3 stable production. Definitely looks like he's going for some aggression right now.
Yeah, and Bunio is queuing up his own knights, but you're going to want to see a pikeman upgrade as soon as possible if he's going to have any chance. Because, like I said, +2 knights is scary.
Yes, indeed. So it looks like Banu's in castle now. Let's see what his first reactions are. He's doing a TC, it looks like on that main gold. Not horrible placement. I would have liked to see it in front, just to give him a little bit more security there. But looks like these knights are going to knock down this palisade gate really quickly here.
Yeah, and a forward siege workshop from Mr. Monty is another great move.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to siege this main gold and deny a big portion of Banu's resources. It looks like Banu's adding knights, adding camels now, so that's definitely the good reaction there. The only thing is that he doesn't have any upgrades on them, so even those knights, the classic camel versus knight advantage won't be there for him until he gets those upgrades.
Yeah, and Farimba is a unique tech
Ooh,
that you said, but
looks like
those don't kick until later. Is that the gold tech or silver tech?
Until Imperial
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah, it looks like Monty's really massing a lot of knights right now, so he's getting that critical mass of knights. That's going to be very hard to deal with, coupled with the fact that he's opened Banu's base. It's going to be really hard to defend that.
Yeah, those mangonels, man. It's basically the Castle Age Trebuchet. We'll
Yep.
put down a TC, no problem.
Yep, that mangonel is going to be in range of his main gold there. I'm surprised he hasn't... oh, there he is. He sees it, and he's going to move it now. And Banu cannot see that mangonel is there. And now he can. Quick garrison there, nice micro by Banu to avoid losing anything there.
Yeah, both players are very experienced. If you're new to our tournament here, the Castle Cup is the more advanced, if you will, the A-tier players. We'll be showing the Feudal Cup's finals tomorrow on Sunday. Myself will be casting with Stiglitz, our spin-up leader, and new father, I should say. Congratulations, Stiglitz. And we'll also be following up the Feudal Cup finals with the Castle Cup finals. So stay tuned for those.
Yeah, it looks like Monty's pushing into the base here after cleaning those skirmishers up. So it looks like definitely... okay, he's splitting the knights, trying to force some reactions from Banu there.
So splitting the knights, do you think that's still a good call? I mean, you
I
have
do.
the numbers.
Yes, I do think that's the right call. So he's forcing a lot of idle time, and he's also forcing looks like some missed micros on behalf of Banu there, just because he's trying to micro so many things at once. But Monty looks very comfortable here with his control groups and just being able to micromanage both groups at the same time while looking at that economy back home. So he's forcing a lot of idle time right now. So even if he's not getting that many kills, he's also just forcing these vills to not be collecting resources, and that's just huge.
Yeah, so that's the advantage of splitting it up. Certainly when you have the numbers that you can afford to, is to confuse the defender, make sure that, you know, they might miss a few villagers here or there, but then also, instead of garrisoning one TC, you're garrisoning all three, for example.
Yeah, so right here you can see that out of Banu's 45 vills, he's got 35 idle right now. So all of that is leading to an advantage for Monty here. But it looks like he has cleaned up a lot of the issues in his base. He still has some knights, but they're definitely not as big of a group as they were. But that +2 armor upgrade really makes it so that they can fight under or near
Thanks
those
for the
TCs
tier 1
without too
sub,
much
by the way.
punishment.
Oh yeah, thanks. I was wondering what that noise was. Appreciate it. Yeah, these knights are scary, man. Me myself, it's nothing's more frustrating than a bunch of knights in a mangonel in early Castle Age. So props to Monty for clicking up first and having the balanced resources ready to mass an army and with a forward siege workshop quickly. So there's very little room for Bunyo to react.
Yeah, it looks like Bunyu's about out of fish in the back as well, so it's going to be interesting to see if he opts for fishing traps or if he just kind of forgets about them.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned water, he has taken over water on the other side. He's about to take out Monty's dock, so there is more fish available over there, but he'll need to spend the wood to get it. Meanwhile, TCs are burning, villagers are screaming and running for their lives.
Oh yeah, that's a town in trouble there.
Oh, and you see this forward castle, just brutal.
Oh, there it is. Yep, looks like Monty's going to add a forward castle using the palisades of Banu as his quick wall there. Though still, look at the idols. Looks like 19 idols right now for Banu. You can just see the effectiveness and the cost benefit of really just a couple cavalry raiding the base, you know,
Yep.
can create just a huge gap in resources.
And there it is.
Yep, Banu calls GG as Monty is moving on to take game 1.
Good job, Mr. Monty. Well played. And you too, Bunny, way to not give up, sticking with it. Again, both players are very experienced and very good. I don't anticipate anybody folding to early pressure, but the pressure really didn't let up. As soon as Castle Age was hit, we saw armies coming, and strong armies too, with the tech behind it. So.
Yeah, I really like Banu's reaction though to do the sneak dock there. That could have turned out really bad if Monty would have been relying on fish.
Yep.
So it was just kind of by chance that he wasn't, but that could have really hurt Monty's economy. But he was going all land, and it worked out for him. He had a lot of aggression early and kept it up. And yep.
And not a single Mango die. I mean, we didn't even get a castle up technically. So just goes to show that you can do Mongols well without relying on Mango die, which is so popular. A unit.
Yep, Monty's really notorious for doing the early siege workshops during his castle pushes. So
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Paid off here definitely.
Well, let's load up game 2. Let's get right to it since we got a bit of a late start with this series. And we got a lot of games to get through, so.
Alrighty. Game 2 is ready and queued up when you are.
Okay. Mine's booting up now. All right. I'm at 5 seconds.
Okay, let's get it started.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing though? Nomad?
I am. Yes, this
Okay.
is a Land Nomad game 2.
I was just trying to make sure I didn't load the wrong game because that was surprising to me. So-
Yeah, so this is actually Banu's home map.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to explain the home picks systems that we have?
Yes,
we hit
sure.
play?
So looks like the home map, the very first home map pick is going to go to the player that lost the first game on Scandinavia. So that's Banu, and it looks like he's opted for Land Nomad. So I'm not sure how much experience either player has on Land Nomad, but just to give you a quick rundown, basically the two players start off with 3 villagers and get to choose their location of their first TC. So looks like they've already picked it, and the idea is basically find a wood line and build your TC near wood line.
Okay. Did you hit play, by the way?
Yep.
Okay, cool. What seconds are you at? I'll catch up.
I'm at about a minute.
Okay. So yeah, land nomad too, different obviously than regular nomad, which has water. Which is there's some really good strats about water and Japanese and building docks right away, but land nomad is a bit different. I mean, the other trick is to scout with your cow because you don't have any kind of scout or camel or anything like that. Little things like that make a bit of a difference.
Yeah, sure. So definitely the cows are going to be used as the scouts early on, just to try to find the mineral piles. So another thing to note in Land Nomad, specifically in the two-player generation of the map, is that the mineral tiles are all very small. So 3 or 4 tiles. I think it's actually 4 for gold and 3 for stone universally. So very difficult to to keep a good command of the mineral resources on the map when they're all spread out in tiny tiles.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And luckily, the two people, by the way, Ethiopians and Bulgarians, Ethiopians by Bunny, Bulgarians by Mr. Monty. Luckily, they built their TCs far away because nothing's more frustrating in a nomad map than having all this land space and building your TC right next to each other. It just creates for a hectic and interesting, different type of game, and I mean, maybe fun to watch, but really frustrating to play. So.
Yeah, absolutely. They looks like they're almost spaced out like a standard map. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. So
Yeah.
Banyu with the Ethiopians, they do have some eco bonuses. Their archers fire faster as well. So to go along with it, Bulgarians very aggressive civ. They have free infantry upgrades that kind of give them an early advantage as far in terms of like a men-at-arms push early. Very common strat used for them, as well as access to Krepos, which are basically cheaper versions of castles.
Yeah, the Krepos drops are nasty.
Yeah,
Ethiopians,
we'll
by the
have to
way,
see.
my favorite civ. I use them maybe 80% of the time when I play, so I like that choice.
Yeah, Ethiopians very strong civ. They're basically strong on all maps in the current meta. So good pick, nice safe pick. Bulgarians very good on land nomad though, so we'll have to see. As long as Monty can get access to stone for those Krepos, we'll see if maybe he incorporates kind of like a Castle Age Krepos push into his gameplay here.
Yeah, that's true. He's gonna need stone. He sees 1-2 piles now with his 3 piles, so he does have good access to them. And then yeah, Ethiopians are good on land nomad too because they get the 100 food and gold at every time they up an age. So on maps where resources are a bit wonky, I'll say non-standard, it can be a good choice.
Yeah, it looks like Banu is milling those deer in the back there, so pretty safe deer. Looks like he's about out of deer in the front. I guess my only critique of his base so far is that his wood line is actually, I don't know if you see that, but he's already 2 tiles away from his wood line before they even started chopping. So he's going to immediately have to add a lumber camp to maintain efficiency.
And that's the trick if you're wondering, okay, what do I do with a nomad map? Really, it's about the wood line. It's good if you find food, but not super important because you can pull boar and cow are everywhere. And then gold is, you shouldn't worry about, you shouldn't prioritize gold as a resource when dropping your first TC. It absolutely needs to be wood that you prioritize.
Yeah, that goes for land nomad and nomad actually. So nice analysis there. That actually holds for both of them. Looks like Monty's pulling a second boar. That was a very long lure, so he's actually lucky to find that one. But looks like it's safely going to go under his TC. And Banu is working on his boar, and then he's also getting that pack of deer in there in the back. And I'm not sure if he's scouted the other boar that's nearby there. And it looks like he has not. Oh, he actually has, so he can see
Yeah.
that. So it looks like
He's
maybe
got a
he'll
lot
be
of
moving
food.
to that.
He's got a lot of food at his disposal. Bunny does.
Looks like an early barracks as well, going up from Banu here, right around 15 pop here. So, oh, he canceled it. Never mind.
Misclick.
Yeah,
I don't think
so I'm saying
either
that was a
player-
very early barracks.
Yeah, I don't think either player has found the other yet.
Interesting to see. Looks like Monty is really pulling some far boars to try to get an early advantage in food. For those who don't know, the rate of hunting is a lot faster than farming, and also from shepherds. So it looks like Monty's taking advantage of that early bonus there and trying to pull some extra boars.
Yep, Bunny did just find the first outskirts of Mr. Monty's base with his cows.
Yep, looks like he's scouted those houses, and I think it'd probably be safe to assume that his base is there, although not always true. So we'll have to see if maybe he continues to scout looking, or if maybe he's just assumed that's where it is.
Yeah, he lost one cow and then turned the other one right around. So he knows that there's some villagers at least there. Yeah, safe to assume. And again, this was Bunny-O's pick, so you got to think he's got a strat in mind when entering this match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think he's gonna either push for a fast crossbow rush or just some straight feudal aggression with maybe a double range. Something like that. I think is what we should expect from Banu and from Monty. I would expect him to early game utilize that barracks and the free upgrades that come with it.
Hmm. When do you click up? How many villas do you click up on in a land nomad situation?
Oh well, like anything in AoE, I'd say that depends.
Yep.
I actually usually opt for a slower feudal and a quicker castle, but that all depends on where and how close they are. And it looks like Monty has not actually found Banu yet, so I mean, he's scouted the general area around his base, so I think he knows that he's at least he has some kind of safe distance,
Hmm.
and maybe that Monty would go actually for a slower feudal and early castle for those Krepos access. But he's fast building a barracks right now, so I actually have to see what what's going to come of that.
Yep. I mean, he's lost his scouting cows, so you know where your cows were lost, and you can kind of triangulate. Okay, his TC's over this way, but
Yeah,
no
yep.
actual building scene. So
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually haven't seen a lumber camp yet from Monty either, so I think he's going to try to utilize that back wood line. It looks very safe, easily protected there, and it looks like he's going to put up a mining camp early, and he has that barracks up as well. And looking at Banu is now putting up the barracks, so fast barracks from Monty, but we'll have to see if he utilizes that men-at-arms rush.
both TC placements are rather exposed to the middle of the map, which is basically an oasis of green. There's really no wood line separating the two players.
One thing to note is that Banu already has 7 on gold, so that's
Yep.
very indicative of early archer.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to go for some early archer feudal pressure here.
Absolutely. This is basically
he's
how
first
I
to
play
feudal.
Ethiopians. Six to 8 people on gold right away, 2 archery ranges as soon as you can, and then you get the Bodkin arrow and just start churning them out.
Yeah, I will say both players did a really good job here scouting with their cows to get a good lay of the land here. Some people don't do that, and they're really kind of in the dark as far as what strategy they're going to go. But Banu absolutely beating Monty to feudal here, so we'll have to see if he utilizes that speed advantage and capitalizes that with some archer pressure.
Yep. Yeah, I do the same thing. I keep my cows. I don't scout with them, and I feel like I'm doing it wrong every time. I just need to. You'll find more cows. You'll be okay. But intel is so important in this game.
Yeah, since in land nomad you don't start off with a scout, those cows are absolutely critical. I actually like how Banu's base has a lot of minerals in the back.
Yes.
So very, very safe base. So if this archer rush went wrong, he's got a lot to fall back on in the back. Easily defendable area over there.
Yeah, the far back corner. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do like Monty's wood line though. He
Yeah.
has a great wood line there. Very, very safe. Looks like Monty added an archery range as well. So let's see. Looks like Banu's doing a double range production already. So absolutely an archer rush coming in Monty's future here.
And you think Monty knows and expects this from Ethiopians, and will have some skirms to match?
Absolutely. I think that's his whole his whole idea there with the early range. If they do come with an archer rush, and I do like that Monty's actually walled off a portion of his base with that house and the blacksmith in the back. So
Well, check it out. He's
kind
clicked
of
to.
denies some mobility.
You see this? Monty's clicked to castle already.
Yep. Looks like he's already at 20%, so very fast castle from Monty. Banu investing in feudal aggression here, and it looks like those archers are on their way over.
And he's getting fletching. Looks like. Yep.
Yep, expect the early fletching. We'll have to see if he gets the first armor upgrade or delays it. But yeah, fletching is going to be devastating to those vills. He's going to really. But Monty's already on stone as well, so he's gonna. If he needs to react with the tower, he is going to have access to that. He's already at 370 stone. So.
Now this is good from Bunny to push. There's absolutely no military. So I mean, idle time because he'll just TC up, but If he can snipe a Vill or two, we'll see.
Good reaction there. Good quick reaction there from Monty with the TC. Looks like a couple of those archers are already pretty low. Looks like he's walking around just to kind of see where Monty's wood lines are here. I think that's where he's going.
Yep.
Yep, Monty's queuing up skirms. Good reaction there. But Banu's been putting some impressive numbers forward. He's already got another 4 archers coming to reinforce his first group.
Not a single Vill down yet, though. Let's see the quick walls forcing the
Quick
archers
walls,
into
yep.
the TC. Oh.
Oh, that's actually really smart there. He's forcing those archers into that great choke as Banu. Wow. Okay,
Yep.
that. Oh
Amazing
wow,
defense
that was a
from
great
Monty.
reaction there.
Yep.
And he's already up castle. Looks like.
So what's your first move as Mr. Monty in Castle Age? Is it build another TC, or start pushing Krepos?
I would immediately try to get a Krepos up by that wood line, which is exactly what he's doing.
There we
So,
are. Yep.
so that wood's going to be protected, and also that gold in the back is also going to be protected with that Krepos. So, great placement there. Protects the farms, wood line, and gold.
Yeah, now he's got some skirms to come in and clean up the archers.
Oh, if only Banu scouted where Monty's taking stone, it's completely defenseless,
Yeah,
and he
exactly.
actually can't even get there because he blocked it off. So that's, oh man, that would be devastating if he found that. But it looks like he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, great defense from Monty. Bonilla was going all in with this earlier archer rush. Might be an uphill battle at this point, unless he finds that stone, which would be very helpful.
Oh, looks like he's got an archer underneath the TC and the Krepos there. Oh, and it's still alive. And it lived. Okay.
Yeah,
but
it did
yeah,
really well,
no,
actually.
I really like Monty's position here. It looked really grim for him, but that quick wall and the fast Krepos there was a great reaction. And
hasn't lost a
actually
single
probably
Vill.
saved him the game.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a single Vill.
Yeah, huge feudal investment from Banu, and if he wouldn't have been able to wall that, it definitely would have paid off.
Yep.
Monty's even got some skirms here to try to buy himself some more time
Far
to
from
utilize
over,
that
though.
castle advantage. Let's see if Banu is close sticking up here. So, oh, it looks like he's still building villas actually, and Monty is going forward with several villagers in his skirms here. So he's just gonna say
Krepos
to
drop.
those archers, "Come on in." That's all a distraction. It looks like Monty's also starting some farms over there where the stone is, which very risky play, kind of a high risk, high reward play there.
He's starting with an outpost. I'm going to switch to Monty's Fog of War. So forward outpost, because he still technically doesn't know where the TC is exactly. Though he's got a strong idea.
Yep. Monty's actually known for utilizing outposts, which
Is he?
very smart play. They're very cheap, and they provide a lot of utility. So I like the outpost plays here.
So this is only just so he can see where to put his Krepos, which is coming up next.
And he found it. It looks like I would expect a Krepos here going up any second.
Oh, he's bailing.
There it is. Oh, but that group of archers is going to make it difficult. Let's see if... yep, he cancels it. Good reaction there from Banu. Yeah, he still has that other group of archers at Monty's base, so just keep in mind both those players, they're microing on both fronts right now, so very intense game so far.
This is tough though. If you switch to Banu's line of sight, he doesn't see the secondary Krepos that's about to show up on his map.
Oh,
gonna
it's so
hurt.
close, but he can't see it.
This is gonna hurt.
It's one tile. It's got one tile buffer to where he can't see it, and it looks like that Krepos will go up.
I hate the Bulgarians, man. This Krepos drop is so frustrating.
Oh, he's gonna see it here in a second. It's gonna start firing arrows.
Oh,
Oh, here it
brutal.
comes. There it is. Yep, and Banu now sees it, and he is probably like, uh-oh, here we go. We got problems because he has. Look at all those exposed farms there as well. And
The good news
that's-
is he's almost Castle Age, so he can get, oh no, he's just about to click it.
Yep,
But
he just
can
clicked
get
Castle Age
some
just now.
siege to take care of him, but yeah, it's tough. It's a tough unit to deal
Looks
with.
like Monty building a market here. Looks like he's going to abuse the market here to either build some conics or do something. We'll have to see what he's going to do that market for. Maybe some extra stone.
Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. We got a second Krepos going up now. This one actually, I think we'll be in range of the TC. So that's huge if that goes up. And
Yeah,
Monty's
that
already
should be in
pumping
range.
Conics.
Conics are such a great unit, not just because they're 2 units in one, but I just feel like they're so versatile, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like the strength of a knight and the strength of like a two-handed swordsman immediately in Castle Age. So very, very strong.
Right, with high mobility, and then they actually do okay on buildings in mass. But they are expensive. They are an expensive unit.
Yeah, so it looks like that second Krepos went up, and Banu is in big trouble here. Monty's already got Conics. Looks like big group of archers though, so maybe if he can make those crossbows and get Botkinero quickly, maybe he can defend some of the Krepo or the Conic threat here.
Yeah, it's good micro by these archers, but they're still only archers.
Yep, if they were crossbows, this would be a lot different, but I'm sure he's researching that right now. Just have to see if he'll get it in time. Big thing for him is to keep these numbers alive. Looks like we already have the automatic pikeman upgrade from the Castle Age bonus from Banu, the
Huge.
Ethiopians.
A huge bonus by the Ethiopians.
Okay, a lot of idle time here from Banu as well. 15 Vils idle, just due to this pressure. He's trying to keep them alive. And also noted, Nu has 6 farms that are completely unoccupied right now, just due to the skirms being there and Monty's pressure. So he's losing a lot of stuff he's already paid for, basically.
Right.
And then he's got another TC coming up here. So we'll have to see. I don't believe Monty has added another TC yet, so I think Banu here is going for the economic advantage and trying to wait out this Krepos push, but we'll have to see how Monty reacts.
Yeah, he's got a lot on stone. It's probably to do a castle to protect any further Krepos action. He doesn't have enough wood for a siege workshop yet, but his second TC will allow him to gather that. It's a good second TC placement on that secondary wood line. Yeah, and there's the castle.
Yep, there's a castle going up now. Interesting positioning on the castle. I guess to try to see if he won't push more further to the west there, but I definitely would have put that somewhere else. And it looks like Monty broke through here on the right. I don't know if you can see that, but he's coming in with Vils and his skirms. I think we're going to see another Krepos.
Yep. The Krepos is
And there it is.
350 stone?
Correct.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if that castle is going to be in range of that Krepos either. We'll have to see. I guess maybe with Nero he will be able to hit it down, but I think he's got other problems to worry about with this other third Krepos coming up.
Yeah, he's going to need a siege workshop right away to go along with
Yep,
this castle.
so very interesting. So looking at the Vil count, so it looks like Banu's at about 52 Vils and Monty's at about 45, but Monty has added his second TC at home now, so we'll have to see if that Vil advantage stays up. And also noted that between Banu, having so much idle time, I don't really think that he has an economic advantage right now, just due to the sheer amount of idle time that he's had to spend from, walking from base to base as he migrates south here.
Yeah.
Looks like Monty adding a stable, probably looking for those upgrades to his Conics.
That or just some cheap scouts to take care of the crossbow. So instead of pushing his Conics at an army like that, but we'll see. Yeah, he's building scouts.
So it looks like they do have access to bloodlines and husbandry. So we'll just have to see if he adds those or if he opts for the fast scouts. I think both would be a nice reaction here.
And he's chopping heavily now. Bunio is, so looking to get a siege workshop moving, I'd imagine, or just keep his archer production up.
Yeah, so it looks like Banu, a lot of chop action, a lot of chop action going on. I'm not really sure if it's for more crossbows or maybe he's just trying to get his economy going again. But if he doesn't put some military in between him and those 4 Vils of Monty, I really don't see how he's gonna maintain these new bases he's building.
Yeah, the thing about Ethiopians is you need steady wood because you're going pikemen and archers basically. He's chosen to do camels, which is interesting.
Yeah, I actually like that reaction from Banu with the camels. I think it's one of the only options he has, and he's probably he's got a lot of gold, or he did, but now that it's been destroyed, But if you can see on the southern part of the map, he's actually building a third TC next
Yeah.
to some gold. So
see
I think
that.
he's anticipating having some gold access. I think that's why he's adding those camels.
And check out to the left of Monty's base. I didn't even see where these archers came from, but Bunio doing a good job finally. takes
Oh,
the
and
Bills
Monty's
out.
sending a big group of Bills forward. I don't know if he sees that yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, he does. And
Oh, he
yeah, I
sees
think
it.
I'm like a couple seconds behind you. Let me speed my
Oh, my
replay
bad,
up so
sorry.
I can be. No, you're good. Let me speed up real quick.
He saw those arrows right into his face, although he's got Mangonel coming out right away. It's a good reaction.
Yeah, big props to Benu here to be able to manage his main base being under siege and building his new bases and sending his army forward all at the same time. So big props to him for surviving this crazy push from Monty here.
Yeah, Bunny is a fighter, man. He will not go down easy. You're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah, there's no free wins here. So Monty looks like he's down by about 10 bills, but again, I mean, he has a lot of map control in terms of these Krepos. I mean, he has access to that gold next to his first Krepos, and then looks like he's dropping another Krepos right down
Scouts.
to where, yep,
Yeah,
scouts
another
going in, but
Krepos, yeah.
right into the pikeman there. That is unfortunate. I don't think he saw that.
So as Monty, you're probably thinking you got it in the bag. I'm just gonna keep building Krepos, pushing him off resources. What he doesn't see, Monty, is that Bunio just has expanded south with more TCs than Bunio or than Monty even has. So it's interesting.
Yeah, really impressive from both players here, though. Just the sheer ability to micromanage 3 different fronts here, or 2.5 fronts. Just very impressive. Looks like Banu's scouting around to make sure that Monty's not doing any kind of mineral harvesting there in the north. Very sneaky play if he did, but great reaction from Banu to keep scouting the map and just to try to get some more information.
Yep, just chopping away, farming as you can, collecting more cows as he goes along. TC's on
He seems
almost every
very
resource.
he seems very unaffected by this Krepos aggression, which most players would be kind of freaking out, but Banu's just calmly building more TCs and keeping his bill numbers up, so very interesting.
Somebody gifted 5 subs.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, that's very generous. Anonymous gifter, wow.
Oh, I was
really
gonna
nice.
say who was it, but anonymous. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna say Bunyu. This is Bunyu being comfortable with Nomad, knowing that there's resources to be had elsewhere. You can't succeed in this TC migration on a regular map as much because there's no gold piles. There's less gold piles to find, less stone piles to find. But on Nomad, you can afford to just back out, find more space that hasn't been built on yet, find those resources. So I'm just gonna say this is a byproduct of Bunyu's map choice and experience on this map.
Yeah, oh, looks like we have a Mangonel going in and with elevation advantage, and wow, huge Mangonel shot there. Looks like Banu now sees it, but we'll have to see if Monty tries to repair that Mangonel. Looks like he's going to attack around here.
Ooh.
Yep, great micro, another good shot. So it looks like he's actually leading those shots. Another great shot.
Yeah, that was tough.
Great micro there.
That was tough for Bunyu.
Yep, that was an attack round. You can see the Mangonel. So for those who don't know, you can basically force your Mangonels to attack a certain spot. So it just adds another dimension of play. And Monty, well executed there. Looks like he's actually catching Banu, trying to build another TC. So that's actually pretty important there. Those conics.
And the siege workshops are working for Bunyu. He's pushing on some of these conic or creposts, but Mr. Monty's villagers are there and one conic, so trying to take out those. We have an interesting war within a war going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So good reaction from Banu to utilize the siege of the Ethiopians. I believe they have a couple techs that are unique to them, increased blast radius. So they have great siege, but good defense from Monty. Are using Vils actually to keep it alive until he gets some conics on the job.
Yeah, it is a Imperial Age tech for the Ethiopians. More blast radius.
Yeah, we'll have to see if once they go imp, if he can utilize that. That would be huge against these Krepos.
Yep. I mean it's cannoneers. It's my favorite. I usually tech into that as soon as I can.
Oh, interesting here. Monty adding a Scorpion, so excellent counter to the Pikemen. Just kind of shows you the dimension of thought that's going into this game from both players. Really
Yeah.
great unit counters and really good macro perspectives of the game from both of them.
Well said.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to be protecting the Scorpion with the Conix and using the Scorpion to protect the Conix. So very good mutual, you know, symbiosm there just to try to keep the units alive. And it looks like Banu's units are getting picked off here as they come out, so he's not
Yeah.
able to mass. And just taking advantage of that is Monty with the Conix. But Banu is still booming in the back here, you know, great economy still, despite everything that's happened to his main base.
Yeah, I think Mr. Monty would be surprised to see exactly how much is in this space of the map that he hasn't explored yet. How much blue exists back there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it's just a sea of blue villagers back there. It I mean, just the sheer the booming ability of Banu here is pretty impressive. I mean, he's still on 5 TCs actually right now.
He's
5
being
TCs,
hemmed
wow.
in by Krepos like no one's business, though. He just will not. Mr. Monty will not let up on this Krepos.
Yeah, no,
drop.
it looks like Monty's securing another woodline here with 2 different Krepos at the same time. So
Yeah.
very aggressive play from Monty here. And if these both go up, which it looks like they will, Banu's going to be in some trouble here. So if you look at the Vil count, actually, Monty is creeping up on Banu. He's at about 70 Vils, and Banu's at about 882, which is smaller than the difference 5 minutes ago. So, despite Monty only, being down a couple TCs, he only has 2 at home compared to Banu's 5. He's actually maintaining the Vil count to be pretty close, and that just goes to show that his aggression is paying off.
Yeah, and these Conix are now +2/+1s, so we'll see them do good work. And there's
Yep,
enough
he's
of
also
them to be
the
scary.
Scorpions. Great, I just love the Scorpions. Great combination with any kind of cav. Yeah, Monty's actually his conic numbers have been going up, so he's going to be able to do some serious raiding here, and it looks like he's going to be continuing to utilize the outpost. But Banu over here, I don't know if Monty sees this yet, but Banu just put up a castle and a TC on that side.
Yeah, his
So he
expansion
might be-
continues right up to the edge of the base. He responds with a Kripos, though, Mr. Monty does. It's just so fascinating.
Seems
see.
to be the standard reaction here from the Bulgarians. Let's just, when in doubt, add another Krepos.
How many do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Kripos total. 9.
Oh, so Monty, quick reaction here with another Krepos to the south there, trying to protect his secondary TC, and it looks like it did go up. So good response from him. And he also has a siege workshop, so it might be interesting to see if he goes for rams here to try to counter that castle. And Banu's building another castle just to the left of that, so.
Yeah, he knows that this is the only way. I mean, he's taking the castle drop strategy right back at Mr. Monty and moving all his army over there, which is a good combo of knights, archers, and pikemen. So he knows that his best chance now is to push and be aggressive. He can't just sit back and hope to boom without getting hassled. So.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we have to give. Monty's pressure has just been unrelenting, and he's a great aggressive player. So, big props here to Banu to actually still be in the game at this point with all those Krepos. It's amazing reaction from him to be able to stay alive. It'll be interesting to see if Monty tries to opt for continued aggression on Banu's economy, or he opts to kind of play a little bit more defensively and try to beat him to imp to trap those castles down.
Right, because that'll be the path to victory. If you feel that Banu is not going to roll over, which he won't, then you know that you need to get something to outrange.
Looks like we have some interesting comments in the chat about APM. So yeah, just to give you an idea for it, their APM's probably around, I would say, between like 150 and 220, probably right around that range, just from playing with both of them. If you were curious. So very high. They're great players. So
Yeah, both of these players. I mean, I would have quit twice by now if I was in Banu's position. I'm not gonna lie. Like the fact that he's able to keep going with these TCs is amazing. And now I feel inspired. Next time I'm on Land Nomad, I know that hey, I can just
Never
build a
give up.
TC somewhere else. Like what's stopping me?
yeah. So looks like Monty actually has some stuff in that siege workshop there queued up. So I believe he's actually going to try to go for a push against those castles. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's 1 ram, so it's not too much, but yeah, I think he's just biding his time. He knows
Oh, I mean, on the
where-
other one, he's got another workshop queued up as well. I don't know how
Oh,
many
yeah,
are in
there you
there.
go.
I haven't checked, but
4 battering rams, yeah.
yeah. So actually, he might be going for a push here. I think 4 is enough to take down those castles, especially if Banu doesn't have his army there. Look at the amount of vills from Bunyu just going from mineral pile to mineral pile.
Yeah, it is impressive. And now
if
Monty's
you look
sending
on the
scouts out
right-
to see what's what.
So if you go to the right just a little bit more, on the edge of Bunyu's secondary base there, kind of towards the eastern part of the map, yeah, so Bunyu actually could get through that little area
Yeah.
over there to further expand to that corner. I'm not sure if Monty has scouted that or even sees that he can go through there, or maybe he just assumes it's closed off.
He does see that it's open. Monty does. Bunyu is doing just that, what you just said. So I don't know if he's listening.
Oh, there he goes.
But
Even though we're casting this, weeks after, I guess he can
oh, that's
somehow
right.
hear us
This
here.
is live. That's a good point. You must have watched the recordings beforehand, then. You know it's what. Yeah, these scouts.
I have not.
These scouts are a good choice from Mr. Monty. It's something that I don't do, again, because I'm nowhere near the level of play that these guys are. But popping out a
Here
unit
comes
or
the
two
Rams.
just to get intel, it's crucial. Yeah, I see the Rams on the left.
Wow, that's a lot of Rams. That castle, I would be. Oh, there's the army from Banu popping out as well. We'll have to. Oh, this is gonna be the game-deciding fight right
Yeah,
here.
this is the game. Monks to support, which is good, but won't be enough. They are
Oh,
only
those
battering
crossbows
rams,
are
but
just.
there's a lot
Oh
of them.
man,
Yeah.
Monty's really pulling ahead now. He's got a huge score lead. Definitely a lot of map control as well. I don't know if you can see, but he's actually taking minerals from the north as well. Just huge byproduct of map control there. He can produce gold units forever, pretty much. Yep, first castle's down. Looks like the second one will go down as well.
Yeah, he's got Rams in every single area of Bunyu's base.
Yeah, big credit to Monty here for actually using his map control. I mean, a lot of players, especially in the lower brackets, won't, they'll have map control, but they won't be using it. And Monty's really taking advantage, bleeding these golds in the north.
And Bunyu's not quitting. He's putting up another castle on his corner TC, indicating
Nice
that,
placement there, actually.
yeah, indicating that he won't go down without a fight. Oh, you
Wow,
know
and
what?
he still has those 3 ranges as well. So
See,
we'll
you know
have to
those
see.
vills that went to the north? They were not sent purposefully by Bunyu. They're stone miners who went up
Oh,
themselves
and
to
they
collect that
automatically,
stone.
yeah. Oh, and another Krepos going up actually as
So
well.
funny.
Right where you were looking, there's another Krepos going up by Monty. So that's huge. It's a huge denial on that gold there. That's one of the last golds he has, and he calls GG.
Yep. Great game. Well played by both players. I mean, if you look at on the map, all these little gray areas where buildings were built, this is the migration path of Bunyu, who basically moved around half the map from his starting point and just would not
Yeah,
quit.
huge props to Banu for being able to still build his base and migrate. He literally migrated across the entire southeastern part of the map there. So really impressive survival. But Monty really won due to that map control and that early aggression. So
Yeah, committed to the Krapos drop. Fully committed.
yeah, I don't know how many Krepos are there. We'd have to take a second to count those, but that is a lot of Krepos.
Yeah, at least 10, if not 12. I mean, so cool. Fun to watch. So this
Yeah,
is
great reaction with the Rams from Monty too. That was really great.
So this is 2-0 in Monty's favor, meaning that this next game could be the deciding, because it's best of 3. And is it going to be Bunyu's map choice again?
I don't remember if the rules. Maybe Frager and Chad actually could give us some info on that. I think that it would be Monty's map, but I could be wrong.
Normally, it is Monty's map.
Okay. Any predictions
Yeah,
before we
so-
load up the next one?
So if it is Monty's map, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he's gonna try to go for some map that allows him to do some early aggression. So I'm not sure if they banned some maps beforehand, but Arabia, Serengeti, Gold Pit, just any map where early aggression is basically something that's very important in terms of the dynamics of the map. Definitely wouldn't expect like an arena game or anything like that
I
from
see,
Monty
yeah.
if it is his pick.
All right, so let's go to game 3 then, shall we?
Yeah, let me load that up here.
Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Let's see, that's Nomad versus Monty. Here we go. If you're interested in joining the Art of Warfare, go to TAW, that's TAW, TAW.net, and submit a request to join. And we'll get you guys set up with the drill instructor and show you the ropes. We're not your typical fly-by-night clan. Been around for many years, multiple decades. Technically a non-profit organization, so a lot of committed players all around the world, playing every day, every week, communicating, sharing. It's a great community.
Yep, multiple divisions as well, just to deal with ping issues from Europe to the U.S. to Japan to you name it. Pretty much, TAW's got players all over the world. So yeah, all right, I got it loaded up here, and it looks like it's Golden Pit.
Okay, and we're gonna click. I'm at 7 seconds.
I'm at 10, so we're basically good here.
Perfect.
I'll let you start first, so just let me know when you start up, and I'll start up a couple seconds after.
Go ahead, hit play.
Alrighty.
So
So,
civilizations. You want to go? Show us around.
Yeah, so it looks like we have a Kuman's pick out of Monty. Not surprising that he's going to pick that, just due to that being his primary civ. And we have a Persians pick from Banu, another very strong civ. Persians are pretty much strong on almost every map. Great work rate bonuses out of their TC and dock, so they're pretty much good on all maps.
Okay. Thanks for the sub, by the way. And so you sound like you know Monty well. Do you play with him on a team often?
Yeah, no, Monty and I, we play all the time, so I kind of know what strategy he's going here for. If he's playing Kumans, yeah, I can definitely provide some insight into that. I don't want to spoil it, but I think we'll definitely expect him to utilize the TC availability in Feudal Age into either some kind of boom or aggression later on, so we'll have to see.
And then how well do you know Banu?
Also played with Banu a lot, not as much as Monty. I think Banu's a little bit newer to the clan than Monty. I could be wrong on that, but Monty's very active.
He is, yes.
He's always on.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely played with Banu a lot. Banu is really good at booming and maintaining his aggression at the same time. That's like one of his signature things. So
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed with his play. I don't play with him all that often, but what I've seen in these past 2 games has been amazing.
yeah, both really great players, fun to watch. A lot of very creative strats. I still can't get over the last game with Banu surviving that long with the bases in the back. Very, very creative.
And so Gold Pit, the map, it's obviously different. Most of the gold, not all, because there's some gold piles for each player to start. Most of the gold in the map and stone is in the very middle, and it's sunken, so there's a height advantage. But you cannot build on that sandy slope. And is that cracked ground in the middle where buildings take extra damage, or because you can't build?
Yes. So it's a very interesting map, and it encourages a lot of early aggression to get that map control, or like maybe some alternative strategies as far as how players want to go about getting that control. So any building down there is it's very hard to defend from just due to the sheer elevation. So if one player were to put a castle or a tower or anything on top there, or even come down with archers or mangonels, siege, trebs, they're all going to deal bonus damage just due to them being on a higher elevation. And another interesting part about this map is that all of the wood is on the outside. So even if you have control over the middle and you have all this awesome access to stone, gold, I mean, you can have all the access in the world, but without wood, you can't really do much. So you kind of actually have to have control over everything in this map, and that's why it really favors a lot of early aggression.
Now you'll probably expect to see Mr. Monty building an outpost in the middle somewhere or two right away, even not just to take the stuff, but to make sure he knows what his opponent is doing in the middle.
Yeah, it looks like Banu already has a barracks up, so I would expect a drush here or some kind of very early aggression. So it's interesting to see. That's a very early barracks. I think he started building that when he was about 14 or 15 pops. So very early barracks. I would expect a drush here. And it looks like he has already queuing up militia. So yeah, definitely going to be a drush here. But Monty has scouted it, so he has that information. Let's see if he loses that scout. Nope. Pulls it away at the last second there.
Is that a failed drush then because it's been seen, or do you think it could still be effective?
Not necessarily. I think it can still be effective. Obviously, it's not. It doesn't have the surprise factor, so I don't think it's going to be as effective as it could have been. But Banu actually has some good scouting information on Monty's early woodline here, so he does know exactly where to send them.
And when you're doing a drush, obviously you need that scout so that you know, okay, here's the exposed berries, here's the exposed wood. which of these do I want to go for? He's building a tower. Here's where the gap is in the wall. Things like that. So
Yeah, no,
you can't just
absolutely
send your
critical.
militia in blind, is what I'm trying to say.
And it also helps with killing the villagers off themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
I
if
mean-
they're not going to kill them, you can still delay, just kind of like by hitting them and causing them to kind of just pay attention to the scout for a second is going to give them the edge.
Right. I mean, it's a decent military unit as well. It's not just for line of sight.
Good reaction here from Monty to try to get this walled off, but it looks like he will lose a Vil there and his scout as well.
Yeah.
That hurts.
So what, in your mind, is a successful drush? 3 Vils down? I mean, idle time in general? Like, what do you think is
I mean,
success in this?
I would just measure it more on the idle time, but the fact that he was, able to get a fill there is actually huge.
Yeah.
So I would honestly already make this drush a pretty successful one, I would say. Great blocking by the scout there, excellent micro, but ends up actually falling to the TC, but great micro on Banu trying to block that. But I would say it's already been successful just based on, idle time and kind of forcing some weird quick walls off Monty there to try to, get a little small wood advantage there.
Mm-hmm. And villagers can fight off a drush. 3 militias, the standard drush. A group of Vils can defeat them, and you could expect villagers to do that, but more often than not, they'll retreat back to the TC's line of sight.
Yeah, looks like Monty is opting to fight a little bit here with his Vils, which is honestly one of his only reactions he can do. But unfortunately, that does play in the hand of Banu, just trying to force the idle time.
Right.
Great micro from Monty though to avoid losing those low health Vils.
Yeah, you'll fight with your Vils, but you'll pull low health Vils away. Hopefully not losing them. Oh, that was close.
Oh, that's close. That's really close. Looks like Monty's coming in here, and he saved it. Great micro there from Monty.
That's 2 down though. Total, I'm trying to keep track. He's lost 2 Vils and his scout to this drush.
And there's a third one right there. So this, I would say this is a great drush. And it looks like Monty's already to feudal though. So despite the pressure, he was actually able to go to feudal before Banu here.
And you put in that second TC right away. So the Cuman's Civ bonus is that they can build a TC in Feudal Age instead of the standard Castle Age. They can also build a Siege Workshop in Feudal Age. And they get Captram in Castle instead of Imp. I know that was a lot of words to just threw out there. But the point is, like, you can get double the village production in Feudal Age. And once you've clicked Castle, you can still continue villager production, which is what 3-5 minutes worth of village production that you wouldn't have otherwise. So
yeah, or more in some cases, depending on how much he wants to invest in feudal Banu. That is. So yeah, Monty. Huge advantage here already. And actually, I don't know if you were able to see, but while he was doing that drush, Monty walled off the rest of his entire base.
Very impressive.
So that just shows like his ability to multitask there, like just next level thought, just already getting the whole base walled while he's defending that drush. Just takes a very huge amount of concentration and
yeah,
micro, so.
a calm mind and someone who's dealt with it before. And so I'm looking at the villager count. So Bunio's 3 villagers up because Monty lost 3, but the fact that he's got that extra village production capability, we'll see this villager count become even very quickly, I imagine.
Yeah, I do think that the damage that Banu did there was, I think that he had a great drush there. I think it was definitely worth it. Monty just had a great reaction to it. I think both players are probably pretty happy with where they're sitting right now. I think Banu is probably happy with his drush there, and I think Monty's just happy to get his full wall and his second TC up.
Yep.
So
So
yeah, it looks
would you
like
expect
he is
scouts then?
doing the done.
Scouts from Monty at this point?
I would honestly expect Monty to do another layer of walls here. That's just because I've seen him play Cuman's plenty. Usually he likes to do a double wall and just a full feudal boom. And there's Banu going to Castle or to feudal there, so it looks like he's caught up to Monty as far as that goes. But Monty's really going to start reaping the bonus of these TCs now. You can see he's already got these farms up. It looks like he's got almost 10 or 11 farms up already. So that's huge compared to looking at Banu's base. He's got 6 farms. And it's just, a more reliable source of food. Looks like Banu's adding a stable. So I think we can maybe expect some scouts. And then he's also pressuring one of the Palisade sides to the right of Monty's base.
Yeah, using those militias for everything they're worth. Scouting out a little bit, but ultimately coming back and pestering.
Yeah, I would definitely assume here that the Monty's preferred reaction here is to not build military and to just kind of press his eco advantage using walls for now.
Yeah.
Um, looks like another market's going up by Banu, and it looks like we do have scouts.
So Monty, you said is an aggressive player, but he also goes cumin boomin. Do you find at odds with his typical strategy, or is it just kind of
I
show you that
do,
he can play
I
any
do.
kind of thing?
It is definitely different than his normal aggressive play, especially on this map. You know, it's a very aggressive map that really favors what Banu is doing as far as
Okay.
his drush. But I think Monty looks very comfortable doing this with Kumans, so
Yeah.
I think this is exactly how he wants the game to go.
Do you
Yeah,
think
it looks like,
what's going through Bunyu's head? This is a game that he must win if he wants to stay alive. Do you think he's thinking, I need to change up what I've been doing because it's not working, or do you think he's had a
Farmon?
plan from the get-go for a map like this and he's trying to execute on it? What do you think?
I think he's gonna try to go for taking the middle. I really do. As you can see, he's already up to castle age. He already has his stable added. He actually opted to not do scouts, so he could get the castle sooner. And I actually think that the drush into fast castle is the exact reaction that he had. So I think he's reacting really well to what Monty's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll be enough just due to the strength of Monty's strategy. Usually when players encounter a Kuman Boom, and their experience playing against it is that they'll either tower it or they'll add some archer ranges near those palisade walls and really just try to pressure them so hard to where they can't get that full boom advantage.
Right.
But again, I mean, with Persians, he's really trying to get his boom going, trying to utilize that work rate with TC, and so I do like the reaction. It looks like Banu actually is coming and to the middle here, and he's going to put a TC down on those minerals.
Yep, and it's the right
Yep.
move. You got to go TC. Don't just put a exposed mining camp because it will get torn apart. TC allows you to produce villagers out there and defend them with with arrows, obviously. But again, this terrain that is in the middle is what they call cracked ground, and any buildings built on it are weak and will go down faster to attacks. So it's really interesting. It makes for a melee kind of situation in the middle.
Yeah, and just to add, I mean, if he opts for siege, they're gonna also have an elevation bonus and archers as well. So like, it's just a very hard area to defend. So, I mean, I mean, I admire Banu's courage for going out there and trying to do it. I mean, he will reap the benefits of these minerals, at least until Monty has a reaction to it.
Yeah, and we were talking about the drush and the effects of it. One side effect is that the scout from Monty went down, meaning that it kind of made Monty curl up a bit, so he hasn't fully explored. I mean, almost nothing from his initial scouting, and that's something that Monty would want. Like I said earlier, I'd expect Monty to build an outpost out in the middle, which he hasn't done, so he doesn't know what's going on Bunio's side at the moment. So.
Yeah, that's another great advantage of Banu's drush. Another reason I think his drush was just really successful. I mean, Monty may feel comfortable in his base, but I mean, he doesn't know what's going on in the middle here with Banu, and he's getting a big mineral advantage right now by not having to use all the minerals in his base, and they have very small amount of minerals in that original base. So I think that's really important. One thing though, I mean, Monty did add stables, so I think he's not going for a full boom here. He's got his feudal boom, but I think he's going to transition that into Castle Age aggression.
The knights right away because he's already getting bloodlines, plated armor, and all that. So.
Yeah, and I like the base from both players. I think they both walled off in really smart spots. One thing I will say though, it's that Monty has double walls on a lot of his base, which is great. But Banu actually has some very weak points in his base, especially on the edges there, that are very far from any vills. So I don't think he's going to be able to quick wall that if Monty comes in with either, knights and camels, some kind of Castle Age aggression.
There's even a hole in the back corner of Banu's base.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't scout that. That's actually huge. So there's a one tile hole there, and he does not see that.
We'll see if it comes into
so
play.
that's huge.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you're
so
a
if-
beginner player, by the way, you just take a military unit, select it, and then right-click somewhere in the base. If there's a hole, the computer will go and find it for you. So it's just one strat that I've seen players use effectively.
Yep, and it looks like Monty is being very careful about his base. I do like that from him, is that he's being really careful to make sure that it actually doesn't have a hole and that it is safe. And yeah, that's gonna catch Banu off guard if Monty decides for any castle age or early aggression.
I don't know. I'm liking Bunny, who's got 2 TCs, a castle and a stable with camels. I think he's anticipating a knight push from Monty. So it's we'll see, and that's exactly what Monty's doing, is building knights, right? So.
Yep, looks like he's got 3 stable production knights, so he is, and you can see it in his score, in the score difference as well.
Camels from Monty, excuse me.
Oh yeah, camels queued up, and then I'm imagining that he's actually going to add some knights in with those camels, but we'll have to see. But definitely a smart reaction from Banu to just go ahead and start off camels as well. I think he's anticipating the knights, and I think that's a good reaction from Banu.
Yeah, okay, so you're right. There are a few knights in there, and they are streaming forward to the middle. I mean, he's got to know that there's something going on in there. Monty does.
So this is going to be interesting because the middle is very fortified, but Banu's main base, where his only source of wood is basically exposed. So it'll be interesting to see if Monty opts for, putting pressure on the middle, which looks like what he's starting out as. And now he sees the castle, so we'll have to see if he actually pulls away.
Thanks for the sub, by the way. Much appreciated. Tell your friends. The Art of Warfare. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Art of Winter 1v1 tournament. That is a mouthful, but you know how we do. So I think you called it. I mean, this is Eco Warfare, casting with Siege Chief. Eco clearly knows his stuff. He's called this strategy, and there's another hole in the middle. Oh, the middle is
Double
taken.
hole. That's brutal.
Brutal. So Mr. Monty just pushes his army right to the main base, knowing he can't do much about what's in the
Very
middle.
smart reaction here from Monty. He's clearly played some Golden Pit in his days.
Yeah, and a siege workshop to follow it up. So.
Yep,
Thanks.
great read there with the Forwardville Siege Workshop. Banu now sees this. This is where you kind of panic as Banu. Like, you have to panic when you see this. This is, like, not good.
And if you're wondering
Really,
why they
really
don't
good
attack
strat.
this TC, it's because they're just trying to pick off villagers. Let the Siege Workshop units take care of the TC building itself. Keep your cavalry outside of the range and try to kill as many villagers as possible. That's the move.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of idle time here from Banu. If you flip it over to his idle count, he's at 18 right now. So that shows you how effective this push from Monty really is already. He's sending his camels in, but he just does not have the numbers to fight it. Very, very, very smart from Monty here to ignore the middle and just, demolish the economy of Banu in the back.
Yeah, I've jumped to Monty's POV just to see how a pro like this does it. Microing his military, building things like outposts for extra line of sight.
Yeah, it looks like Monty's able here to maintain. He's able to maintain three stable knights with upgrades. So I mean, this I don't see. This is just gonna be very difficult for Banu to defend, especially with the lower numbers he has. And it looks like he's going outside of his base right now. He's trying to get access to more wood, but it's just not protected.
Mm-hmm. This hole in the front middle is brutal. It really hurts.
Yeah, Monty he has a huge military numbers advantage. Really, I mean, you can see it in the score. It's just a huge military advantage right now. And even though Banu does have map control of the front and the middle, he's not going to have access to wood here.
And remember, they get capped rams.
Yeah, wait.
Cubans get capped rams in Castle Age, so these are upgraded rams. They do a ton of damage.
Yeah, no, it's a great utilization of Kumans from Monty. I mean, he's a very experienced Kumans player, and he's using every single bonus that they have, which really just tells you how much he knows about the Civ. I mean, Banu has a great strategy here. I really like the Drush. I like the middle control, but I mean, Monty just kind of read this, 3 steps in advance, it seems.
Yeah, and Bunny's been forced to fully expand his TC out to other wood lines. And he's not going to quit. This is the 3rd game. If he quits now, it's all done. So we'll see him play to the bitter end, but it's tough to bounce back for something like this.
Yeah, and it's great that he has all those minerals there, but again, I mean, if you don't have wood, I mean, you can't even build production buildings to utilize this. And I mean, you can abuse the market to a point, but eventually those resources are going to become so expensive that he's going to absolutely have to have wood or he's going to lose the game.
Yeah, and he's just
Yeah,
moving
like-
right on to the middle, trying to get these TCs as soon as he can, because he knows there's not much military on Bonio's side. So
Yeah, and it's going to be really hard for Banu to keep these farms up as well without access to a solid wood line. And I mean, it's good for him that he hasn't scouted that other wood line that he has, but I think it might be too little too late here with these capped rams.
yeah, those are +2 knights, as they say, and +2 camel riders.
And that's a Persian TC going down that fast,
Right.
just to show you the strength of those rams. Those are
Well, the strength of the Rams coupled with the cracked ground is just, they melt.
yeah,
any,
it's
any buildings
like
in this.
triple damage. It's like crazy. Yeah, it looks like Monty's really cleaning this up in the middle here, and looks like one of those rams is about to go down, but I'm not sure if it matters here at this point. It's
Do either
as
of
you can
these
see the
Civs
score
get
difference.
Marimba
Is,
tech?
no, I do
No.
not believe they do not get it. Persians have the bonus versus archers, which is really good. But I mean, again, Monty knows his civ. He's not even going archers. He's full cav, capped ram, all in castle push, and it paid off. He won.
Well, good game. Well played, Bonio. You played hard, but Monty was always an uphill battle. Frankly, Mr. Monty was the second seed, the second favorite to win this tournament, and he showed why in these games. Stayed calm even under the face of pressure, and little things like a Kripless drop just in time, timing his castle age so that he's got a huge army of knights as soon as he can, moving forward with advanced siege work for chops in every opportunity. Those are the things that advanced players do to win games. So.
Yeah, I really like the siege workshop push. You can just tell he's done this push many times, and the experience really shows there. But I mean, great job from Banu. Really, the drush was perfectly executed. It did exactly what it needed to do. Maybe I think if he played it over, I think he would go for feudal aggression there and just try to stop that boom. But I really like the way Banu played it overall in the whole series. I like the way he played it.
Yep, that was tough. So, Eco, you sticking with us to do the other semifinals, which is Stigs
Yeah.
versus plus Nomad?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You remember what those files were called? I have so many.
Yes, let me tell you here in just a second. So it's going to be SF Nomad versus Stigs G1.
Okay,
No underscores, it's just SF Nomad.
thank you. Appreciate you guys sticking with us on this cast. Sorry again for the technical difficulties at the beginning. I'm just going to blame Twitch. You can call me wrong if you want to, I don't care. But here we are with the semifinals of the Art of Winter. This is a winter-themed tournament, so you'll see a similar map from the first game in the last semifinals. It's called Scandinavia. There's snow, if you haven't noticed. And it's a non-standard resources, meaning there's no berries, and there's extra hunt. So we should probably see some sort of civ pick that takes advantage of that. The other things about Scandinavia is very tight quarters, lots of wood, and usually the TCs spawn very close to each other. Not quite the case with this one that I'm seeing, but we've seen some interesting maps where the TCs were sharing a wood line even. So
Yeah, and real quick before we get started
Sure.
here, just to go into the map and the civs a little bit more, we can see that plus Nomad playing as 4 shots for your Reeboks there is playing as the Mongols player, and then we can see the Stigs, the Gothfather in red. He's opted for the Lithuanians, and already just pausing the replay at 3 seconds, we can already see that there's something very non-standard going on here. So an extremely early barracks before even 2 houses, and that's because the Lithuanians get a boost of food and wood at the beginning of the game. So they're able to do an extremely fast Dark Age rush with Sha, and it can catch a lot of players off guard.
who was it that I'm so glad you called this out, because we should take a minute to talk about this before it happens. But it was a caster. It might have been T90 or someone. Someone was showing us how to execute this with the Lithuanians. It was a very particular build order where you do a barracks first and then a house, and then you can call out some militia right away. I can't recall who it was, but you should take a look at it.
Looks like in chat, Stigs is saying that it's Hera.
Hera. Okay, so go look up when you get a minute. Go look up Hera Lithuanian's Drush, and he'll show you how to do it. But let's see how well Stiggs can pull it off. And you got to think, as Stiggs, who's playing as the Gothfather, he knows he's up against one of the best around, certainly the best in the clan. He's going to need to do some crazy stuff like this. So we'll see.
Yeah, so just some background on the players for those who don't know. Four Shots for your Reeboks is actually a player named Plus Nomad. He's by far probably one of the best players in TA, and just probably the most experienced player in the clan. So he is the #1 seed. Definitely favored heavily for the tournament. Stiggs in red is also one of the other top players in TA, and also a great player. I've seen him adapt to a lot of different situations before, so honestly, I think this is going to be an interesting, entertaining match to watch, especially with the non-standard start we can already see.
Yep. So before we press play, one more thing. Plus Nomad has his own Twitch channel. Just type in Plus Nomad, all one word. I think he also has a YouTube, but he's got plenty of great videos, tutorial videos showing his build orders. He's been doing it for a long time, so check him out too when you have a minute.
Yeah, he has plenty of educational videos for Age of Empires, explaining lots of different strats. He has really high quality content. So,
all right, you ready for
let's
the
get
countdown?
it started. I am ready.
All right, hit play on 3, 2, 1, play.
Got it.
So Lithuanian's typically a cavalry civ, though I'd be surprised to see if it gets that far. Either the Drush is successful and cripples things, or it's not. It'll be over pretty quickly in Castle Age, but we'll see. I have not watched these games before, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from this series, so I'm actually really happy to see this Lithuanian strategy from Stiggs here. It's super entertaining to watch. So it looks like the militia are already being queued up, and as you can see, we're barely at like a minute into the game, and you already have militia being queued up. So completely non-standard start. As you can see, he's got 2 unstraggler trees, 3 on sheep, so very non-standard build.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to Plus Nomad's view just to see how he reacts to something like this. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's had this happen to him before, or that he's tried this exact strategy at one point. So he may have a response in his back pocket.
Yeah, I would say that just based on the civs that he, I really think he's probably almost assuming that this is going to happen based on Lithuanians. Yeah, no, he's very well versed in strategy, so we'll have to see if he hasn't done anything too particular yet to anticipate it, but we'll see if he, is able to react to it. Very aggressive scouting from Stiggs, the Gothfather. So as expected, aggressive scouting. The militia are already on their way, and he's switching. He's kind of transitioning his build order back at home as well. So.
TC's been found. He will look for exposed villagers though. Which is
very
the drawback.
very quick micro there from Blue there.
Yeah.
That was super fast.
It's the drawback of this rush though, because when you push too early, there's very few villagers outside of the TC's realm of influence, right? So there is a bit of a drawback there, but he'll go for woodline villagers as soon as he can.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that there, but Plus Nomad actually got a hit on Stiggs's scout, so excellent reaction time there. He had like half a second to do that. And he just did that to where if they had a scout war, he would win. And quick wall's going up, successful quick wall from Nomad there. So that's just inhuman reaction time. Wow.
Yeah, and he able to keep his Vil that was under pressure from the scout alive with 2 health, take out the scout with the TC, and like you said, quick wall out so that these militia are basically useless because they can't go through palisades very fast. So.
Yeah, so it looks like the Drush was partially denied already. We'll have to see. Oh, looks like he's going for the boar. I don't know if Stiggs sees that or not. Oh, that could be devastating if he saw it. I don't think he saw it there. Yeah, it looks like a successful lure from Plus Nomad, but those militia, if he would have seen that, he probably could have forced something pretty crazy with that.
Nomad sending out a laugh chat at the attempt.
Yeah, you can just see the sheer confidence that Nomad has here. It looks like he's harassing the militia with his scout as well.
Keep an eye on him, yeah.
Yep, and he's just casually taking his boars. So one thing to note, Scandinavia, you get 3 boars. As Sneaky pointed out, though you have non-standard resources, so you have access to 3 boars, so that's actually pretty huge. And it also looks like Nomad the blue player, he's scouting, and with a Vil on the side, he's probably looking to put up a dock, and he's actually being attacked by a bear right now. But
Yeah.
he did do an early loom, seeing the Drush, so very good reaction from him. So he'll be fine there.
Both, I've watched a lot of Plus Nomad in this tournament in particular, and he's always in every game put a dock on both sides of the water. So I've no reason to think that he won't again today. But yeah, just making sure, and he'll command. It's not just for fish, but he'll command the water with fire ships.
Yeah, just another interesting thing to note for this Scandinavian map generation. They actually have it generated. Just the AI computer that generated it actually put them on, almost equidistant in the middle. So they both have access to both lines of water. So
Good point.
it's actually huge in terms of maybe forcing some fire galleys or water aggression early. Could definitely play
Yeah, we've
into
seen
the game later.
We've seen both situations, right, where red would be clearly on one side of water and blue on the other, but in this case, like you said, they're both in the middle, so there's no my water, your water in this case.
Yeah, it looks like Nomad looks very comfortable here walling. Looks like he did scout the one tile hole in the back of his base. That's really impressive. Most players would have an oversight there, but looks like he caught that, and he's moving on to Deer. And then going to Styx' base, looks like he's taking one of his last boars here. And he's already started a house wall as well on the right. So both players trying to get some walls up here.
Zecher.
Yeah, looks like Nomad's going to take those deer in the front there. Very exposed. Very exposed spot. Oh, look at that quick gate there. As soon as he saw that Styx was about to wall that, he immediately responded with a gate.
Yeah, plus Nomad's gold is rather far out front, very exposed. Not, well, the front kind of for Styx, but he's got other options.
Yeah, I really like Styx' map better than Nomad's here, just due to the, he's got his main gold and a secondary gold that are literally just right in the front next to each other. So, I mean, if Styx were to able to, to tower that or to somehow put some early pressure on that, that could be devastating. And I think Nomad realized that, and he's immediately walling the front. So I really like the way Nomad set up his base here.
Bad.
It's like a bit of a Vil war there too.
Timo.
Yeah,
Okay.
really aggressive with forward builds. I
Timo.
like it.
Styx had a quick reaction there. He's sending more Vils to finish that. Oh, wow. Did you see that quick wall? That was like, wow.
Just to create a little bit of separation.
That was impressive. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I feel strange.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, commenting on Plus Nomad's play.
Bad.
You know what I mean? As someone
Yeah,
who's not
no,
nearly
it's-
as good, it's a little challenging to.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to criticize him. Just a very high level player. That quick wall was insane. But yeah, it looks like Styx. Looks like he's scouting with a militia here on the right on what's left of his Drush. So I like the fact that he's trying to get value out of those units, despite the Drush not being effective.
I was wondering where the attack
That
was
was
happening.
that was an insane quick wall. That's like.
Go take a
next
look
level.
at the top of the map next.
Looks like he walled in a Vil
Yeah.
of Styx in the. Wow.
I have no idea when that happened. We have
Yeah, no,
Plus
I missed that
Nomad's
as well.
such a fast player that he's able to do things that the commenters don't even notice until it's too late. But
Yeah, no, it's like an inhuman reaction time there. Looks like Styx is almost finished walling off his base. Looks like he's working on the last segment in the back there, and he'll be fully walled off. And it looks like Nomad is. Well, actually, there's a hole. I don't know if Nomad sees that yet. I'm sure he will soon. But there's actually a hole on the northern side. So if Styx were to build a gate or delete one tile on his right side, he could actually get into Nomad's base. So interesting. I don't know if he's seen that or not. I'm switching to his POV now to see if he has that scouted.
well, he must know that it exists, right? Because he's sending bills out that way.
Yeah, he can see it, so he must be aware of it. And it looks like he is going to take down that Vil that he walled in. Wow. Okay. Yep. On the very corner. It looks like he just took out that Vil.
Yeah, using Vils as military early is important because you don't have much else, and you don't want to spend resources on militia always, right? So.
Yeah, so it looks like Nomad probably will end up walling that. He does have it scouted, and looks like he's got palisades placed now. So he does see it, and he is also doing a second dock to the south. Meanwhile, I think in Stig's base, let's see. Looks like he is getting that fully walled off. Yeah, he's completing his last portion of the wall there, so his base will be walled off as well.
Hey, Eco, I gotta step away for a sec. Can you take over?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. BRB.
So yeah, looks like Nomad was first to feudal, and we also have Styx' militia actually in the far corner of the map there being attacked by wolves. But yeah, Styx looks like he's closing up his base. He's almost done. He's got about 1 tile left. But Nomad already in feudal here, so it'll be interesting to see his reaction. And we have an immediate archery range blacksmith, so it looks like an archer push of some sort. Styx and Nomad both have multiple fishing ships on the eastern and northeastern part of the map, so it looks like they're both utilizing fish. And then Nomad is also adding a second dock. And Styx also has a second dock there, so we have 4 docks total on the map, 2 from each players, 1 on each side. And it'll be interesting to see if Nomad tries to go with some early water aggression here, since he did beat Styx to feudal. And we have a second archery range going up from him, and Archer's already queued. So if there is early aggression, Nomad is going to have the upper hand here, just due to beating him to feudal and producing units before Styx can even get there. And Styx is responding with a blacksmith of himself. And let's see if he adds a stable or an archery range. I'm going to guess that it's a stable, but we'll see. Nomad is heavily on gold, 7 on gold, pretty standard for an early archer push here with some feudal aggression. And he's already sending them to the palisade with forward vills. Yep, Nomad's going to try to break here in the middle. You can't see it on Twitch, but just to the left of what you can see on Twitch, it looks like Nomad's breaking down a tile of palisade wall, and he's going to break in with archers. And Nomad has 4 forward vills, so it looks like he is going to maybe opt for a tower rush or something, some kind of a really aggressive strategy here. And there's Styx. I don't know if he sees it yet, but Nomad is in his base, and he's already in Castle Age, so big advantage for Nomad here. Yep, he's mining stone. Looks like he's going to opt for some kind of tower rush. Great reaction from Styx here, though. Quick building a tower. Might lose a vill or 2 here, but it's absolutely worth it to protect that main gold and that wood line. And he is right on top of the tower. Very smart play from Nomad here, so the tower can't kill the archers. Looks like Styx is responding with an archery range. Wow, that's a very hard rush to stop.
We got some archers and a tower in response, but they're sitting underneath the towers. Out of sight.
Yeah, Nomad is already in castle as well, so I don't know how he managed to do that while at the same time putting forward this rush. And now he's building a TC on Styx's main gold. Wow. It looks like the Gothfather's laughing about that in chat. Wow, just some insane play from Nomad here.
Yeah, he split his army in 2 as well to maximize idle time.
Yeah, and I don't see how Styx can come back from this. This is like, if you ever wondered what expert level play looks like Nomad is really showing us what it looks like here. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, he's got the second TC going. Wow, that's just so that's a very Nomad thing to do.
And
yeah, but
less to like use it as a weapon and just to get that gold, or both?
It's gonna be both. I mean, he's denying the main gold and that wood line at the same time, while still being able to, work on his castle boom at the same time, and he's taking gold. So it's just that TC actually serves a lot of purposes.
So he put his archers in the TC to fire, and then he's using his vills to build.
Yeah, and actually, if you look here in north of the map, Styx actually took out Nomad's fish. I don't know if Nomad has even seen that yet. Maybe he has and just doesn't care. Looks like he's queued up a fire galley of his own, so he does see it. But nice play by Styx, though. And it looks like Nomad is also on fish, the southwestern part of the map as well. So looks like he still does have the fish bonus there for some food, but. I mean, he really doesn't need food with the strat he's going. It looks like he's just going for a crossbow push here to try to end the game quickly.
Yeah, using his TC to take out the enemy's TC and then march in with crossbows.
Yeah, it looks like the Godfather has a group of 6 bills in the south. I'm not sure where those are going right now, but it looks like he's looking for a place to put a TC, I think.
Yeah, he ran out from the side of his map, and plus Nomad saw it, so sent his archers to follow. But I don't think he knows exactly where they're at.
Yeah, he's
They're about to
really
find him. Wow.
he is very aggressive. I can't believe he found him. That's insane. Yeah, so huge advantage for Nomad right now. This game almost looks like it's about to end because I really don't see, like, Styx has no access to really anything right now, and that TC, his only TC, is about to go down. Yeah, that's just a very frustrating strategy to play against. I mean,
Yeah.
it's executed perfectly by Nomad, really. I mean, just the fact that he was able to get to castle that fast while still rushing is just very impressive. I mean, I really like the fact that Styx did the non-traditional drush. I mean,
Yeah, props
to
for
a less
trying something
experienced
new.
player,
Yeah.
to a less experienced player, that could have won him the game. So I really like the strat that Styx used here. And there goes that TC. So
That's brutal. I mean, I don't know what I would do in response to this either. He did get to castle just in time, but
Аж pasiruošęs.
yeah, this is just a painful one to see, really. I mean, you hate to see it, but just absolutely one-sided game here from Nomad. Diggs, he still has some fish. Looks like on the eastern side of the map, and
do.
but Nomad does have 2 fire ships on that side as well. So we'll have to see if maybe those fishing ships don't have much in their future here. Like Nomad spread out his crossbows to just
Yeah.
kind of get a better lay of the land here, but looks like Styx Vills did break into his base, and looks like we'll be shot down like a firing squad by Nomad's crossbows. Yeah, I
it's-
think Styx is just having fun with this one at this point.
Yeah, at this point, he's
can
like
buy.
challenging him to find. He's calling it.
Yeah, and he
Good
calls
try,
GG, and
Styx.
that's the
Again,
end of the first game.
If you're watching, I don't know what you could have done differently. But
Yeah, so Nomad is like he's a top 500 player, so well played by Styx to hang in there and have the audacity to try a non-standard
Right.
strat. So I really like the strat from Styx, and just the ability to play through it even though he knows he's playing one of the top players in the world.
mhm. So they can't pick the same civilizations that they just used. We are playing a different map, and it'll be Styx's choice for game 2.
Correct.
So let's load it up.
Yep. So we got game 2. Let me pause. I'll go get out of here. So it looks like. So yeah, this one looks like it's gonna be played on Arena. I'll wait for you to load it up. I don't want to spoil too much here.
Yep,
but
go ahead.
yeah, so it looks like it's played on Arena. So for those who don't know, this is Nomad's best map by far. He literally writes strategy and tutorial guides and videos via YouTube and other ways, specifically on this map. So this is definitely an interesting choice for Styx to pick that as his map, because this is like Nomad's bread and butter.
And he's gone with Incas, and Gothfather Styx has gone with Cumans.
Yeah, interesting picks here. I don't know too much about Cumans being played on Arena, but we'll have to see what strat he goes for. I can see with Incas, definitely Nomad has a lot of different options here in terms of maybe some feudal aggression with towers, but I think more likely would be either a castle drop, like a very early castle drop, followed up by like a mangonel or monk push, like a smush.
Yeah, he's pulled that on me before. Very frustrating.
Yeah, and I think from Styx we could probably expect something like, obviously he's probably going to try to utilize the feudal age TC.
Yeah.
And then probably opt for some cavalry. So we'll have to see what both players do. But I'm ready to get it started when you are.
All right. Press play on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
Yeah, Cumans. One of my friends, Ginger Fresh, plays Cumans on Arena all the time because he feels more comfortable booming behind the walls. So that's not too surprising. But then when you're thinking about your opponent, it does seem to play into his hands a little bit. And then that being said, maps like Arena really level the playing field for players who are lower skills because those walls exist and will stop from craziness like, I don't know, Lithuanian drushes. So.
Yeah, it mitigates a lot of the potential for that early Dark Age or even early feudal pressure. So it kind of makes games between players that are maybe there where there's an elo difference. It can make it a lot more interesting. Like I know I've beaten players on Arena that I would have no business playing against on Arabia. So I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe I think if Styx can come up with a good strategy here, I mean, it's anybody's game.
That's the thing about Age of Empires. You know, there really is a bit of an X factor with things like this. If you catch somebody making a mistake in castle and they lose their army, for example, on just a bad battle, it could really change the tide.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the reason that we're expecting either some kind of towers or a castle drop from Incas is that their buildings require less stone. I think it's 550 for a castle, but maybe someone in chat can fact check me on that. That's my guess. I think it's about 550. So they definitely have a discount for stone. I think it's 15%. So it just enables them to build towers and castles at a more rapid rate compared to other civs. Let me check here real quick and make sure.
And Incas also benefit from blacksmith tech. So you start to get some military defense and attack that those apply to the villagers that are building that tower, so they're able to defend the tower and themselves a little bit better.
Yeah, it really enables those forward vills, which are very vulnerable usually. I mean, when you're defending against a castle drop or a tower rush, you're trying to get those vills out of play, and it's versus Incas, it's really tough because they're affected by blacksmith upgrades. So those forward vills really are more hardy, and they're able to survive and do more damage.
Now,
so it looks like 15% less stone is what their buildings cost. Just to
appreciate that.
That's some clarification.
I like what Plus Nomad's doing by pushing the goats or the ibex early before even taking any boar or sheep.
Yeah, very smart player. Tell he's extremely comfortable on this map, and I would just absolutely expect either a castle drop or tower rush.
He even admitted
knowing
as much
that,
in the chat too. He's like, I might lose based on how I'm about to play, so he's going to do something wonky, but we'll see.
So if I was Styx here, I would just kind of expect either a castle or a tower rush of some sort, and he can build his base in a way where he uses houses, his market, his blacksmith, the typical fast castle buildings, to kind of build a secondary wall. And it actually looks like he's already starting to do that. So I actually really like that from Styx, with that fort house there. Some people like to build it right on top of their wall, but I really like what Styx is doing, leaving it a couple tiles away. That way, if a castle is dropped, it's not necessarily in range of the houses, so he has a little bit more time to react as far as getting a siege workshop up for mangonels or any other kind of archer defense, anything that he would do to defend. So I actually like that from Styx.
Yeah, and the other thing you do when preparing, if you know your opponent's going to do a castle drop, is to start mining stone yourself early. To drop your own castle. Make sure that you limit the damage.
Yep, and a lot of times, worthy of noting, Arena is one of my main maps, so I can just attest to this. This is what always happens. It's almost always a war to get trebs first. So it's just a race. It's a treb race in most cases. Can you put effective pressure with a castle drop or some kind of aggressive strategy enough to where you can basically reach imp before them? So. I do think that'll be critical in this game, no matter what happens, whether it's tower rush or castle drop. If Styx is able to get to Imperial Age before Nomad, then that's going to be huge.
And plus, Nomad is calling out the fact that there's a lot more exposed wall for Styx than Nomad. So what we'd call map generation favors Nomad. He's just got less to defend. He's more enclosed by wood.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Styx is, if you look at the map, he's almost has, I would say, a 1.5 or 2 times as much to defend, and also he has a very exposed wall there on the northern side, and there's actually a 4-tile stone there. So if I was Nomad, that would be where I was going to push if I was Nomad. But
Luckily for Stiggs, Nomad hasn't scouted that. His scout's line of sight hasn't reached that far yet, though maybe in Feudal it will. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That gold is exposed over there, even if the enemy doesn't aware of it yet.
yeah, I think my guess would be a tower rush,
Yep.
just probably because Nomad's trying to keep it interesting here. So it will be very interesting to see how a full feudal tower rush goes in Arena. Not a lot of players opt for it.
Yeah, and Stiggs has snuffed it out with his scout, luckily. So we'll see what becomes of it now, but he will continue with the strategy. And he's instantly building on
Yep,
his
looks like we
stone.
got forward. Looks like we have forward vills going from Nomad already, and I mean, looks like Styx is about to go on stone, but it might be too little, too late already. Yep, first tower going up from Nomad, right on the wall there. Very surprised he
they
didn't
already
choose
have-
the
look at-
stone side.
These vills already have +1/+2 armor.
Yep, that's a great advantage there for him. I guess he's trying to get that main stone out of the way. So definitely smart play on Nomad. He really could go on either side of the wall, and it's just really smart either way. So
Yeah.
Yep, he's already breaking down the wall. First tower's up. Looks like Stiggs. Looks like his reaction. Oh, I'm a little further behind on mine actually. So let me look at yours.
Yeah, so the +1/+2, that must be from Loom, because I look back and he hadn't built his blacksmith yet. So he's adding scale armor, and he's adding forging right away. So we'll see finally those blacksmiths bump up to +2/+3.
Yep, I'm caught up to where you are now. Yep, it looks like that was Loom, and now he's getting those upgrades. So that's going to be really tough for Stiggs to deal with, because those vills are basically like stronger than infantry units at this point.
And he's building an archer range, which is the right call when faced with military villagers like this.
Yeah, that's
I
just
can't believe
tough.
how
They
fast
got
take
plus
that wall
two,
down, though.
+2/+3 armor on those vills. That's really tough to deal with, and his main stone is going to be denied here immediately. Alright, Sneaky, I'll be right back.
Sure. So he tried to wall in the villagers, failed to do that, but he did scare them off. And blaming lag, plus Nomad's blaming lag for that. The tower drop is nasty because it's just, you slowly inch up, tower after tower. He's building barracks there to kind of support, probably with Eagle Warriors, or Eagle Scouts. And luckily for Stiggs, Cumans turned out to be a good civ for this because he's got early access to rams, which is very helpful. But we'll see if these villagers and Eagle Scouts will be enough to stop this ram. And in response, he's walling off the tower. I should say, plus Nomad is putting a layer of walls around his towers to stop these rams from being able to get to them right away. This is like a chess match right now. This is really fun to watch. And it's nothing against Stiggs' response. It's exactly what you need to do, and he hasn't lost all that many bills.
Yeah, what?
He's about to lose some archers, which is gold there, but keep creating battering rams. He was able to take out the wall, but not the tower itself. And the tower is going to keep going. Man, this is tough. So there's one build down from Stiggs. He's building his own tower, which is the right call again, giving himself some wood and gold to work with.
All right, I'm back. Wow, looks like Nomad is just continuing to push in with towers here.
And yeah, I was just saying, Stiggs' response has been good. Luckily he's got the rams, access to the rams earlier than normal, and he did send one out. But then Nomad built a wall around his tower, and the ram went down before he was able to actually get to it. So it's a bit of a chess match going on. I love the archers ram combo from Stiggs. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's one thing I failed to mention in the beginning, is that just having those access to rams can really deny a lot of Nomad's potential strategies here. But I mean, just the execution from Nomad here is just really on point, like what he's doing. But great reaction from Stiggs. I mean, I didn't even think that it's so hard to tower rush a Cumans player just based on what they have access to in Feudal. So very interesting game, really.
Yeah, these These Vills are nasty. 3+1 attack, 2 and 3 armor. Then the support of an Eagle Scout or 2 is all you need apparently. And really good micro, I should add.
Yeah, those quick walls were. Yeah, that's next level micro there. Looks like another archer's going down. Those eagles are going to start scouting around the base, see what's going on. I'm sure they're looking to see if Styx somehow has a back stone or access to what minerals. Or Nomad's calculating that as he sees it.
Styx did put down his own tower, which is a shame because then he loses his second TC advantage that the humans have.
Yeah, just a really great execution on Nomad's part here, and good reaction from Styx. But this is just tough. Like there's really not much to do, even if you're a great player. This is tough.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of tower rush strats in this game, mostly Japanese on Scandinavia, down in the Feudal Cup. It's the first time I've seen it in the Castle Cup, but there might have been a game or two that happened that I missed.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he's using eagles here because they counter archers. They are able to raid, so if he wanted to do a mangonel defense, they counter mangonels really well with their movement speed. And they just have high pierce armor, they're mobile. Obviously anything that's melee is good against rams, so I mean the eagle choice from Nomad here is just really good, and he's putting archers in the towers. Another really smart move there.
Yeah, not just a barracks but an archery range. So you put the archers in the tower so that there's more arrows flying. That frees up your Vills to repair the tower, take out buildings, rams, whatever.
Yep, and it looks like you can just see the blacksmith upgrade impact those Vills on that archery range. Like that archery range is just being melted right now, and in the feudal age, that's amazing. That's absurd.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
Looks like Styx is running an archer out, just the last one that was alive before that range goes down, and it's gone.
Ah, this is tough.
Yeah, you can just see how comfortable Nomad is on this map. Just so comfortable.
And those Eagle Warriors coming in on the other side. Might snipe.
Yep, looks like he's gonna raid that. Yep. Full idle time here for Styx.
Luckily, they're only scouts. I mean, they are beefed up scouts, but they're still just scouts, so his Vills can take them out.
Yeah, looks like those Vills are gonna clean those eagles up, but unfortunately, he's probably just gonna make some more of them. I mean, his economy's completely undisturbed at home, and like you said, I mean, he has those Vills freed up to actually attack the buildings. Because those archers are in the towers. So,
and he's
really good execution.
I should say, Nomad's got the presence of mind. He spotted that some Vills had escaped the base, and it's just sent 3 archers to go find them. He doesn't know where they are yet, but he knows they're on their way to his base somewhere. So he's just. We've seen this before, like knowing. Just presence of mind to like spot that and do something about it.
It just really capitalizes the difference between like an advanced player, which would be Styx, and just an expert level player. Like Nomad is clearly he's on top of everything, and you can really see it here. Like I really like Styx's reaction, trying to escape a couple villas, get a TC going. And like even like an advanced player probably wouldn't be able to scout that, but
Yeah.
Nomad is just all over it. It's pretty impressive to watch.
He's like, how'd you see that? Tough.
Yeah,
It's
just some expert level play there.
If Styx were to play the Feudal Cup, he'd win. He'd be maybe not outright, but he would be top player in Feudal Cup. But he's got to play Castle Cup, and then as a result, he has to come up against Plus Nomad in the finals or semifinals. So it's just tough. And you're in that middle ground. Hopefully, we'll get a few more players of Nomad's caliber so that we can have a Imperial Cup in the future. But
yeah, Imperial Cup would probably be necessary for Nomad there. But it's just crazy. Just putting it in perspective, Styx is top 10, top 15% of all players in AoE,
Right.
and Nomad is just making him look silly here, and it's crazy. Another pretty much just flawless execution here. Look at those 2 archers. He knew he was going to attack it with Vills, which is I would have attacked it with Vills too, and he was just there waiting for it. It's crazy.
And the only chance Styx had was the Siege Workshop, which has been put down. don't know if he's got enough wood for it. No, he's got enough wood if he wanted to drop another Siege Workshop and try. All his military buildings are down for as effect, except for the barracks behind there. But
Yeah, really tough situation here. I mean, just the versatility of eagles and archers too early on. It's just tough to counter. You know, you see eagles and you want to counter them with scouts or men at arms or something. But I mean, those archers would shred that, and then they could easily add a spearman if he decided for scouts. So it's very hard to counter.
yeah, and Stiggs is doing his best to take out towers with his vills, but that tower's being rebuilt by Inca vills and the military behind to support. So it's tough.
Yeah, very little he can do here. I mean, just boxed in on this little 15 by 15 tile here on the back of his base, just trying to live.
Well,
Looks like he's gonna put up a market, and yep, he calls GG.
there you have it. 2 games to 0 in favor of Plus Nomad. Good try, Stiggs. Good try. You pulled out all
Yeah,
the
hats off to
tricks.
Stiggs for really going toe to toe with an expert player. So, hats off to him. But just really brutal there. There's really little he could have done there.
Yeah, 7 towers, barracks, and archery range all within your own base. How many vills did he execute that with?
I think it was 5, but I would have to go back and see. I think 5 is the standard.
Well, he's got
might
5
have-
left, so if he did it with
Yeah,
5, he didn't
flawless-
lose a single. Yeah,
Flawless execution either way, like just absolutely flawless execution, and even made it to castle. So despite just the heavy investment and everything, he was still able to go back to his base, manage his economy, and get to castle age. So just
Yeah.
super impressive. He scouted the vills that were running away from Stiggs. Just some next level play really from
good
Nomad there.
point. I mean, because you bring up a good point. I could, while we load up the next map, I could maybe on my best day execute a tower rush similar, if not like that, but similar to that effectiveness. But I would not be able to keep my economy going at the same time. I would
Yeah,
be
that's
fully
another
focused.
thing where these replays, they really don't give the players justice on both sides. Just being able to manage your economy and a military and an attack at the same time just takes an incredible amount of skill and thought, and seeing it on the replay from our perspective, it really doesn't do it justice.
All right, loading up game 3. So I find
Game
it
3.
buried
Okay,
in
so this
my
should be
replays.
Nomad's home map, and it looks like we are going to play another arena game.
So yeah, if you're wondering how that could possibly be the case, both players are given picks and bans, and both players chose Arena as their number 1 pick, and so here we are playing Arena back to back.
Yep, I got it queued up and ready when you are.
Okay, let's hit play on 3. 1, 2, 3. So we got Portuguese in blue plus Nomad, and we got Saracens in red with Sticks.
Yep. So I think we're going to see some organ guns here. Just seeing the early Portuguese pick here. Definitely regarded as one of the best strategies in Arena in the current meta. So I think we're going to see organ guns from him. It'll be interesting to see how Stiggs reacts as Saracens.
Mm-hmm. And plus Nomad even just acknowledging and saying, like, I guess that it would be crossbows, and probably right by Saracens typically known as an archer civ. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can expect Stiggs here to try to utilize his civilization bonus of his archers doing more damage to buildings. Definitely one of the Saracens' strong points, and especially on Nomad, where people may think they're safe behind the walls, but the Saracen bonus, they're really not. So I like the Civ pick from Stiggs, and I also really like the Civ pick for Portuguese from Nomad.
Yep.
Portuguese, in my opinion, definitely one of the top, if not the top, arena civs in the game. So no surprise that it was picked.
yeah, a more fair distribution on the map generation this time around. Both players have about the same amount of front walls, and they're really close to each other, like real close.
Yeah, this is the very close spawn. It looks like it's maybe 15 tiles between them, roughly. So super close spawn. The only thing I don't like about Stiggs' map is that both of his stones are very close. Looks like 10 tiles on my grid. So that's very dangerous. If Nomad were to drop a forward castle with organ guns, like there would be no response from from Stiggs. I mean, he would have to go out and go really far out into the map to get those extra 2-tile stones that are there. So he wouldn't have many options if that's where Nomad decides to do a castle drop.
And plus Nomad calling out
Esto
that
pronto.
something with his strat will be interesting for us viewers. Always the showman.
Yeah, I think he's referring to the fact that he doesn't have anything on wood right now. He's doing the straggler tree there, but definitely not the normal strat. Usually you'd see 4 on wood or 3 on wood right now with the lumber camp.
What do you anticipate?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I mean, he's obviously trying to get a lot of food really fast, so I guess that would indicate either some kind of unorthodox, super fast feudal into castle, or some other strat that I can't foresee. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the fastest castle in the history of the game. I don't know.
Knowing Nomad, it's probably either for entertainment value or some kind of new strat that he wants to try out, or a new build order. Sorry. But I would absolutely expect castle drop with Organ Guns 100% on Arena.
Organ Gun as a unit is a siege unit, correct?
It is, yep. It's a siege unit, and it's good against units in groups.
Right.
I'm sure there's some people in chat that could probably elaborate more on it, but it's basically it's strong versus groups of units. It can be countered by cavalry, or other siege, but the thing is, once you get a critical mass of them, even cavalry and siege don't counter them. So the general idea to play against them is to not let that player mass them, which is a whole nother task in itself.
Yeah, easier said than done. I've had some success with archers against, but that was able to stop them from. I never faced a huge amount, so they might get slaughtered if that had been the case.
Yeah, it looks like Nomad's adding some houses here. Again, it's a theme in Arena to place your houses like that to where you have like a secondary wall. So we'll have to see if Stiggs does the same. Just knowing that he's playing against a Portuguese player that's probably going to do some kind of castle drop here. So we'll have to see how he builds his base. And looks like Nomad's finally going over to wood. At the 6-minute mark, he's on an actual wood line now, out of his straggler trees. Got 6 on berries. Yeah, looks like he's going to wood. I would definitely expect a fast castle, organ gun kind of play here, but it'll all depend on if Stiggs can scout it and if he has crossbow numbers to defend it. Looks like Stiggs is pushing in some deer.
You've
I
seen
think
the early
Nomad did that
mining
very
camp.
early on.
Early mining camp on stone, so I think you're absolutely correct with your assessment.
Yeah, looks like Nomad's going to stone. Sorry, I'm like 5 seconds behind you. Let me mine up real quick.
My bad. That seems to be a theme.
No, you're good. I'm just gonna try to get exactly where you are.
So if you're interested in getting into this game, it's a bit different from other RTSs in that there's more resources that you have to manage than maybe StarCraft. So, that's what makes it a bit more dynamic. There's also a lot of little tiny things that you need to be aware of and do in order to be highly efficient in the early game, which is so important to be, at the level that people like Stiggs and plus Nomad are. It's things like not killing 2 cows at the same time. Making sure that your buildings are placed as close as possible to the resources so that there's less idle time or time spent from villagers walking to and fro. If you go over to a lumbing camp, you'll see 3 on one side
Olá.
and 3 on the other.
Sim.
This is the idle time
Quais
that I'm
as
talking
vossas
about.
ordens?
This villager here is trapped. So optimizing clutter on a lumber camp, for example, is the way to, again, be as efficient as possible. And when we talk about a fast castle, it's the research to the next age. Gives you access to different technology, different units. In this case, feudal age is being researched at about the same time. Plus Nomad will go up first, but not far behind will be Stiggs.
Yeah, also noted, it looks like Stiggs has a little bit higher pop here, so he decided for a slightly slower feudal time, just for a stronger castle age, or early castle age economy, and it looks like Nomad opted for definitely what we expected in terms of what you would do if you were trying to do an early castle drop on someone. Is that he's going up less vills, less worried about economy, but he's going to be on the aggression.
Yeah, he's building right away the 2 necessary buildings. He's got the
See?
800 food, 200 gold, and he's clicked up without any. I think he built 1 villager.
Yeah, he actually may be able to. Oh, he's almost able to kick up the castle before Styx got to dark, or got the feudal from
Got to
dark.
feudal,
So
yeah, amazing.
super fast castle here going up.
And it's to the minute, to the second. Every villa is got a very specific purpose. He knows exactly how many villagers he needs on stone in order to get the necessary 650 stone to build a castle before the castle age comes up. So this is that, when we say high level play, this is what we mean. Like, no wasted time. Every
Yeah, extremely methodical.
methodical. Every move, every research is thought out and has a purpose. So
Yeah, I do like, other than the fact that he's probably going to be denied both of his stones pretty early on, I do like the fact that he has his big gold in the back, and then he has a secondary gold in the back, and then he actually has a lot of room as well. So if he needed to seed farms back there, or, you know, something like that for a hard defense to something that is probably coming here,
Good point.
I mean, he has a good base for it. I mean, if he had a secondary stone, maybe on the other side of, you know, maybe it wasn't so close to his main stone, or his main stone was a little bit more, I don't know, in a more safe spot, I guess we could say, he would have a great map to defend against what's probably coming here.
And so when I'm looking at the Saracens,
Alright.
he's got a bunch of gold miners.
Wait, I
And then
suppose
you
that's
wonder, how did he
fine.
get enough food to get to Castle Age? Because he has clicked up. Styx has. It's because the Saracens market allowed him to buy some food, right? So
Yeah, just to elaborate on that a little bit more, is the Saracens are, they have a great market bonus. Not only does their market cost less wood, but they're just, it's, you know, the trade costs less. So, but in this case, obviously, it's not really going to affect it too much. But they're just able to abuse the market, and their market costs less. So it's early on, it can provide a pretty big advantage.
now, we talked about a castle drop from Plus Nomad. He's not doing that, and it's
Yep, he's opting for a safe play here.
And it's because his main military unit is going to be built out of these castles. It's a bit risky if you put it out front and you lose that castle. You've lost all chance to get your organ guns, as we've called them. So I've seen this with the Huns, or the Mongols rather, and the Britons. Anything where they want their main military production is going to come out of a castle, they typically put them back within the walls so that they don't lose that.
Yeah, so it looks like he is opting for the safe play here. I actually really like that he is not building it forward, even though he would have denied those stones. If Styx somehow did kill it, especially Saracens, I mean, they can knock down buildings pretty good early. He would lose access to his most prized unit, which are going to be those organ guns. So I really like the fact that he built it back at his base. Definitely, he gives a lot of respect to Styx here. I don't think if he didn't respect Styx, he definitely wouldn't have built it at home. He would have built it forward. So definitely a safe play that shows that he definitely respects Styx's potential here to defend against that.
Oh, Södersport.
Now the blacksmith, what
Way sauer.
blacksmith tech helps
Oh, Södersport.
organ guns? Any?
I don't think that they are. Let me check so I don't say something wrong, but I don't believe that they are affected by the blacksmith upgrades. They are affected by upgrades to your siege, so I believe siege engineers would affect them.
Ah, okay.
Let's see. So
And then obviously ballistics would help, right?
yes, so upgrades to attack and range are found at the university, but they're not affected by blacksmith groups or upgrades. So like if you I think with the Portuguese tech, the Arquebus upgrade, they are affected by those. They're affected by siege engineers. That's where they can get their extra range, but they're not affected by actual blacksmith upgrades.
Gotcha. And he
Why
does have
silence,
good set of
bosses,
crossbows.
Robbie?
Styx does. They share 7 range with the organ
See.
guns, though the attack is just much higher for the organ gun. But he's got
Yeah,
more.
I think Nomad really he kind of read this situation really well. I mean, I think he was thinking in advance here about, like, he was expecting the archers, so he built the castle at home. And now it looks like he's actually building petards. Definitely not a unit we see very often at all.
Yeah, it helped
So
him
this-
take
this-
this gate down. quickly.
Yeah,
It's my trick on Arena, honestly, is 3 petards along with my archers. Because people think Ethiopian, they're like, oh, okay, he's 2 archers, but it'll take him forever to get through. 3 petards will take out your gate in a second, so then those archers are free to walk in.
yeah, just incredibly hard to counter. Organ guns are pretty much strong against almost everything, especially if you can get more than 5 or 6 in a group, which Nomad does have here. Look, I mean, he's able to take down an entire army of Saracen crossbows, so
Yeah.
just absolutely insane, strong unit.
He lost 2 organ guns there to maybe 10 on Stig's side, so
Yeah, and since they're a siege unit, I believe they are able to be repaired.
right.
I think so. It will actually be interesting to see if Nomad brings some villagers forward to actually repair them.
And he's going for
Ao
relics.
seu dispor.
Yep, full map control. So another really important aspect to talk about when we're playing Arena is the relic control. There's a very, very finite amount of resources in terms of minerals on the map. So getting those relics can pretty much force the player to have to go all in early. Otherwise, they're just going to basically lose the game.
And it's tough to micro against organ guns because they have that spread of damage, right? So
Yeah, so it's, I mean, Styx has the right idea here. He has his units spread. They're not like, I mean, they're not completely spread, but they're not super clumped either.
Yeah.
So he has the right idea. It's just so hard to counter. As you can see, they take hardly any damage versus almost any, like all types besides maybe a cavalry, melee hit, but it's so hard to even get close to them.
and they outrange the TC as well, at least the baseline TC without Town Watch. So
Yeah, it looks like Nomad's adding a siege workshop here. He's really going in for the early pressure here, and Biggs is feeling the heat. It's pretty clear. He's looks like he is on stone. I don't know if he's maybe gonna add a tower. I don't think he's gonna have enough unless he abuses the market for stone, which I guess he could do for a castle.
Ao seu dispor.
So it looks like Nomad's opted for the single lumber camp to have resources to do what he's doing right now. But still set up in an efficient way. It's not like horribly inefficient. So very interesting. You can really tell that he's got the strategy down. He needs every resource for the thing he's trying to execute, and he knows that.
yeah, you'll see the good players never really have a lot of excess resources. They spend it as soon as they have it. And if they do have any excess, it's very purposeful. It's meant to
Yeah,
purchase
totally
something.
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both players are actually really low on resources, so you can really see. I mean, that speaks to your point. I mean, they're both really good. Yep, Nomad's grabbing all the relics here. Looks like he's almost got them all, so that's actually huge, especially for Portuguese. So he's bringing in what looks like the 4th one right now, and he's already on his way to pick up the 5th as well. So he's gonna have all the relics. Yeah, these crossbows there's just too many organ guns.
Yeah, and
That's
he's got
just-
the in case knights appear out of nowhere. He's got the monks ready. So
Yep, and that Mangonel taking some damage from the scout cavalry, but those organ guns are just so strong.
how many he's got? 16. Eesh.
Yeah, Styx is in a very rough spear. Just to look at the vills. Let's see, I'm at 24-13. Nomad's got 47, so he's got a slight vill lead as well. Not to mention the idle time that Styx has had just from having his base sieged. Nomad definitely military and economic advantage at this point. And the relics, I mean, they haven't really taken effect yet, but as the game goes on, he'll reap the benefits from those.
Yeah, they don't have a relic bonus deck or anything like that. Do they, Portuguese?
Yeah, and Nomad's already on his way to Imp here, so I mean, just a super strong push.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have access to a lead organ gun, trebs, bombard cannons, imperial economic upgrades. It's just huge. Very strong push from him.
I was just reading the chat from Stiggs. You get lucky. I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's just so perfectly executed, and his castle time wasn't even that far behind. Plus Nomad's. Styx's castle time was maybe like 30 seconds behind it. So
Yeah, it looks like Styx called GG there, but yeah, I mean Imperial would have given him access to the Vittoria, or I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But
Yeah, I think you got it.
the building that can basically generate resources from nothing. So another really strong aspect of the Portuguese.
It's broken, Civ. Broken.
Yeah, on Arena, certainly one of the best civs, if not the best civ for Arena. So well executed.
Thank you, Eco, for joining me today. And if you want to come back tomorrow, everybody tune in at the same time. We'll be showing the Feudal Cups final match, and we'll be following that up with the finals for the Castle Cup, which will be Nomad versus plus Nomad versus Mr. Monty.
Yeah,
Any
should be
final words?
some good close games. But yeah, thanks everyone for staying with us. I know it was a lot.
All right. Take care, everybody.